Welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my channel. So, the question is IU and Jennie tricking? And I don't mean like the cereal tricking, but is they tricking? So, is it tricks for kids? Is it tricking in these streets? Tricking. So, I know, let me say something before I get started. There's a lot of news out there with Adore and Hive, and I'm going to come on a future live stream and we're going to talk about Adore and Hive and what has been happening in the news with that situation. So please stay tuned and make sure you like, share, subscribe to my channel where I will be talking about other K-pop news. I do a weekly K-pop stream where I discuss news in K-pop, and I will be talking about the Hive and Adore stuff in a different live stream. But right now, I'm going to talk about the Jennie Kim IU controversy. Now, Jennie Kim, if you do not know who she is a member of the supergroup K-pop group Blackpink. IU is a singer slash actress in the Korean world. She's a Korean idol. I would say if you don't know Korean stuff, the equivalent of IU would probably be like Whitney Houston or Lady Gaga. She is an actress and she is a singer. I discovered IU because of her acting. It wasn't because of her singing. I didn't even know she was a singer. She's in a K-drama. One of my favorite K-dramas is Hotel de Luna. One of my favorite K-dramas of all time. And that's how I discovered IU. And then I found out later on that IU was a singer. Now, Jennie Kim is a member of Blackpink. She's also come out with a solo album that you may have heard her songs. She's been on the charts. Blackpink is a all four female supergroup in K-pop. Okay, they're like the female equivalent of BTS, I guess, for people who don't understand K-pop. I am a fan of IU and I am a casual Blackpink stan. So let me say that. My particular channel is BTS. I am BTS Army. I am unabashedly unafraid Army. Proud Army. This is an Army safe space. I focus most of my videos and things that I focus a lot is on the history of K-pop and K-pop in general, but a lot of it is BTS centric and focused. So if you are offended by that, I don't know what to tell you. But I have no ill will towards IU or Jennie. Again, IU, I'm a fan. Blackpink, I'm a casual stan. So what's coming to controversy, if you have not heard it, is the claim that IU and Jennie are quote unquote escorts. Okay, this came about on a podcast. I am going to read to you guys a podcast. There's a podcast called Above the Influence. I have never heard this podcast. I don't listen to K-pop podcasts. I could care less. There's a host by the name of Michelle Kira Lee and another host, Woo Tak Kim. I don't know who these people are. I don't know if they're former idols. I don't know who these people are. They're supposed to be podcasters and influencers, I guess. And I think they post their podcasts like clips on Twitter. I'm not on X, Twitter, whatever. I'm not there. So I haven't heard this myself. I watch YouTube videos and I've read things online, of course, about this podcast. They're getting flack. Flack would be a light way of putting it. They have come under fire because they had made some claims about Jennie and IU engaged in intimacy. Jennie and I engaged in intimacy with a Chinese businessman willing to shell out enough money. Okay, so Michelle claimed, she said, quote unquote, all K-pop stars in Korea are hoes. All Korean actresses are hoes. Apparently, every Korean actress or celebrity, there's a price tag on their head. And if you're rich enough, like a Chinese businessman, you can go to these entertainment customers and request to spend a night, even with top K stars. She said, even IU, $500,000 a night. Then Woo Tak Kim added, her co-host, my friend who I went to summer camp with is the son of a BMW heir. He's saying that this BMW heir got with Jennie from Blackpink. And then Michelle asked, like, he paid for her? And Wu Tak confirmed, yeah, he paid for her. He has a video and he showed me this video. That's how I know it was real. So of course the fandom went crazy. So later on, a day later, they came out and issued an apology. Because this went to Korean media, this everywhere. Um, Korean outlets picked up the story. The two BMW heirs in question, they because people online went to go digging, is a Stefan Quant and a Susan Clotten. Clotten is the father. Clotten, the latter is the father of three, all of whom are close to Wu Tak's age. So people have been looking on their social media for these three sons or whatever. So people have been urging Jennie and IU to take legal action against these hosts. Both hosts claimed that their words were taken out of context. I don't know how you can take that out of context, but okay. They pinned apologies and put the apology on social media. Michelle Kira says, I want to take a moment to directly address the viral clip circulating online, the rumors that follow. She explained the circulating video is edited out of context and did not reflect my belief or intentions or values. And it was taken from a longer private conversation that was never meant to be public and since has been clipped and reframed in a deeply misleading way. Okay, she's claiming that this clip is from 3 months ago, that the original clip was from a podcast conversation over 3 months ago. She claimed it to be a recounting an encounter she had with somebody from the K-pop industry who told her all these disturbing claims. She then recounted all the information during her podcast, word for word, not because she wanted to endorse or spread it, but because she wanted to highlight the deeply misogynistic and toxic the toxic industry behind closed doors. Michelle said, I want to be clear, those are not my opinions or beliefs. They were quoted from somebody else, which I found disturbing and worth discussing critically. I mean, so people accused them of trying to do this for clickbait and views. And so she's also said, all you K-pop fans freaking out right now, get your facts straight. I'm not hating or attacking Jennie, simply telling you the story I heard. It was not bashing, but simply repeating it because the topic was how dark the K-pop industry can be and why idols have high unalive rates and how crazy these slave contracts can be. The duo issued an apology on their podcast official's Instagram page, though they continue to receive major backlash. She said, Michelle, the co-host, said, most of you never watched our full regular content, and we discuss dark and conspiracy-based theories often, especially if we have personal experience with the topic. We do this to shed light and discuss things that would typically never make it mainstream media. While our intentions were never to harm or defame Jennie, we simply were repeating stories. I never claimed I saw the video. I clearly said she didn't show it to me. I was never calling them names or claiming it was their fault. I'm saying that such a practice could potentially exist and is disgusting and horrible. Like I say in the full clip, Kira was never calling anyone names. She was quoting what someone told her, and we discussed how crazy and gross that was if it was real, the apology reads. The apology also goes on to state, regardless, that Above the Influence team is remorseful for spreading information not related to myself on the internet at all. Similarly written by Michelle, the post claims she has zero ill will against Jennie, adding that she wished her the best as someone who loves to see other Koreans winning. She says, I understand how even repeating this gossip could hurt her, and I'm sincerely sorry for that. If you watch the full context and want to hate, by all means, for what we did wrong, we apologize, but what many of you are attacking us is simply not true. At the time writing, neither Jennie or IU has commented on the situation. So that's what this article is saying. And that's what I like. Again, I'm not on Twitter, I'm not on X, so I didn't read these people's apology, and I'm not familiar with any kind of K-pop podcast or anything like that. So, of course, they got Blinks and Jennie fans and people up in a kerfluffle. When I first heard this story, let me just give you my opinion. Let me say a few things. I don't know IU. I don't know Jennie. I don't know any of these people. I don't know the podcasters. I don't know who this podcaster is. I have heard something about this Michelle Kira. I've heard that this person is what I would classify, if you listen to my other live streams, as a K-pop groupie. That's what other people have said. I'm not saying this. People are saying that she was quoting from somebody. Either she's a K-pop groupie or she's quoting from somebody who is a K-pop groupie. They also, on this podcast, they said things about TOP and the Burning Sun things, and they kind of like said that they heard certain things, and I will get into that in a minute. But I want to talk about this IU Jennie thing. When I listened to the entire, I didn't listen to the clip, but I read the transcript from the podcast. I kind of squinted, and I'm like, So I said, I definitely got to talk about this. The things that I talk about on my channel is about the inside of the K-pop industry. It's about behind the doors of the K-pop industry. I talk a lot about this in my live streams. So let me introduce myself. My name is Nomadic Kitty. I'm otherwise known as Kiki. I do have family members that have been in and out of the entertainment industry here in America. And I do have two friends that work in the entertainment industry in South Korea that know they do not work for Hybe or Big Hit or anything Hybe related. But I come on here and I'm not a gossip channel. I'm not a gossip YouTuber. And so I don't come on here and out people and tell people what I know. However, I can tell you that the situation that they're talking about female K-pop singers being offered up to the highest bidder is nothing that's a secret in K-pop. There is a K-pop star, I forgot her name. I think her name is Ji-hoon, that actually unalived herself. She was a former K-pop trainee, and I think she was in a group very briefly. And she had a bunch of financial issues, and it turned out that she was being an escort, which I have to say that solicitation in Korea is illegal. But of course, with anything else in the world that's illegal, people find a way. So I have frequently talked about in my live streams about hosting bars. Gotta take a drink, y'all. Just ate. About hosting bars. So hosting bars, if you don't know, are places where people go. They could be inside of a club or their own thing. Sometimes they have hosting like rooms inside clubs where people go and they sit around pretty women and they serve them food. They offer drinks. They do karaoke. Where businessmen pay lots and lots of money to sit around pretty women. Now, us in America, we think that that's absolutely positively absurd and kind of like, what? Like it doesn't matter. Oh, so I know people here like, what? So yes, it's very hard for people to understand that this is what goes on, and in a lot in Korea with these hosting bars. So in these hosting bars, women entertainment, and there's various levels to the hosting bar, okay, situation. So you just tread lightly when you go to a hosting bar. Sometimes it's very benign, but these hosting bars are in Japan, Singapore, China, South Korea. They're everywhere. Okay. And it's everywhere. And so it's something that can be legal because they're not really doing anything intimate. And let me say before I get into this, that this is going to be a grown folks conversation. This is a grown folks conversation. This is not a conversation for little bitty kids. This is a grown folks conversation because I have a grown folks channel. I love K-pop. I'm a casual K-pop stan, but this is a grown folks conversation. Okay. So if y'all walk with me, I'm going to lead y'all down. I'm going to lead y'all down, not a rabbit hole, but I'm going to lead you guys, hello, Marsha, into something that will make you think. Okay. I am here out of all my times to give you my experience and make you think. Okay. So again, I don't know IU and Jennie, what happened to them, but I can tell you, in my opinion, things that I've heard, these are not anything I'm dropping bombs or anything. These are not secrets. These are out here on YouTube channels Other K-pop singers have talked about this. So let's just say, I'm just going to say hypothetically, you belong to a small agency, okay? You belong to a small agency or a medium-sized one. In order for you to fund a K-pop group, it costs millions of. You ready to eat it and drink it? Marsha says she ready. Okay, well, we're gonna go down this hole. In Korea, it is very hard for you to start a label or an agency. It is very hard. Um, there you need investors. You need to hire staff. You need to pay this staff. Okay, so when you're first starting out, a lot of people, they take business loans. They drain their credit cards. They borrow money from family, from friends. They call in favors for other people, from other people in the business if you have to. Because starting a K-pop group is not easy. Starting a label is even harder. So it is very, very challenging. And it's very expensive. And it's very expensive to get your group out of there. You got to understand that you got to do auditions. You got to bring these people in. You got to provide them with some kind of dorm. There's a lot of expenses. So you're going to need investors. After you've drained all your credit cards and you've borrowed every piece of money from every cousin that you can find, um, you're like, okay, I I have to do something, like I have to do something. And so the best thing that you can do is to try to find investors. Some of these investors are going to be inside Korea, some of these investors may be foreign investors, because people are always looking to invest in businesses who have lots of money and they want a return on their business. They understand that the K-pop industry can be very lucrative. Everybody is looking for the next BTS or the next Blackpink. I mean, let's just be honest. That's what everybody wants. At the end of the day, the K-pop industry and the K actor industry, the entertainment industry in Korea, the sports, whether you're talking about acting, sports, singing, dancing, whatever, it's a business. So you have these people that love the business and they may love making music, and composers like Bang Shook. He was a composer like JYP or the head of YG who used to be in the industry. They want to not only do it their way, but they also on turn and they want an return on their investment. So you have investors. So the investors, you're an investor. Okay, you got lots of money to burn, you got lots of money to spend. And let's just say you have a child. Okay, let's just say I'm a businessman. Okay, I'm a Korean businessman, and I have kids who are like they're really into this K-pop thing. And then you notice that they spend a lot of money on K-pop. You understand, you start researching K-pop and realize that if your group hits big, that and this company hits big, that you can possibly make money on your investment, and then possibly it's something that your kid may be really into. Okay. So you're like, okay, you tell your kid is like, Opa, Opa, you should invest in K-pop. Opa, I really love K-pop and we should get in the business of K-pop. So you're listening to your daughter and you're like, okay, sweetie, we're going to see what we can do. So there's an upcoming group, there's an upcoming company that they put out the word of looking for investors, and you decide you want to see what's going on. What do they plan? Where do they go? So they invite you to a hosting bar, and where you're like, okay, I'm going to invest into this group. And they're like, well, we got this group. We got this 5-member girl group, and they talented, they're attractive, they're, over the age of 18, hopefully, maybe not. And we're going to bring the group out. So what the CEO of the company or the head of the company will call the group and be like, okay, at 11 o'clock at night, y'all need to show up at such and such club or bar. And so they like, why? What? And then if you know about Omega X, if you know that Omega X, some of the claims with Omega, the group K-pop group Omega X, who they went to litigation. I think they're still in litigation. They went through this they had a small up and coming label, and then they said that they were required to host parties, that they were woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning to go host these parties, because whether the group be a boy group or a girl group, sometimes they don't care. They just want to see the group. They just want to see how they interact. And sometimes they may dance and sing for them, or a lot of times they just want to act. Now, there have been female trainees and females that have been in small groups that said that they have gone to hosting bars and they sit next to these hot breath ass men. Then these men are all up in their grill, and these men over there rubbing on their leg, and they just had to sit there and be like, hey, Opa. That happens. And the CEO is telling you, look, y'all better get over here. Y'all better be nice to these investors because we need their money. So I need you to smile, dress in your finest, and be as charming as possible because, of course, rich old men want to sit around beautiful, pretty young women. That's old as the oldest time. Okay, so they go to these hosting bars and they sit around these women and they get to know them and like and stuff like that, and then they're trying to attract these investors to make sure that they know it's worthwhile for them to investing in their new group and in their company. That happens. Again, this is not rumor. This is not something I'm making up. These really things happen with small K-pop groups. Okay, so it kind of makes you think. It kind of makes you think because if you are a fan of a group that belongs to a small company, or you're a fan or have been a fan of a group, it kind of makes you think like, okay, well, how did they get investors? Do you want to see your investment? So, I mean, that's one way. So, that's one scenario. So, while we're going there, let's just say again, I'm said businessman, Opa, and even in America. So, let's just say my daughter or my son has a birthday party. Okay. And then at Korean parties, they usually have, food and then maybe entertainment. Maybe they want somebody to host this birthday party. Maybe their sweet, precious Suyi is turning 15, 16 years old. Okay. And she's like, Daddy, Opa, I want a K-pop singer. And the dad's like, what? I want a K-pop singer. You can afford it, Daddy, please. Please, Daddy. Daddy, Opa, I want a K-pop singer on my birthday. Opa! And so the dad's like, oh, okay. The mom and dad is like, okay, we gotta buy a K-pop singer. Where are we gonna find a K-pop singer? And so the wife's like, honey, just call in some favors and see if you can find a K-pop singer. So little Soo Yi wants a K-pop singer to sing at her birthday or her graduation party or her wedding or whatever it is. So me said, Opa businessman who's worth a lot of money. I might be a chebo. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call around the agency and see, like, hey, do maybe you ask your daughter, like, well, which group? Is there a particular group that you want? Or maybe if I don't get that group, maybe you give me a couple of groups. And so they'll call around and be like, hey, so this girl group, let's say the girl group is named Star. The member of Star is your daughter's bias. One of the members is the daughter's bias. Is this person available? Are you guys on tour? What's happening? Is there any way this person can come and sing at my daughter's event? Wedding, birthday party, graduation, whatever, whatever, whatever. Like New Year's event. Can they come and sing? Can they host and just show up? So the agency is like, well, sure. Well, how much are we trying to spend for you to come for this person? It's gonna cost you like, maybe 100,000 won, which is like $30,000. Okay, well, they split the money with the agency and split the money with the singer or divvy it up or whatever. And then he or she could be a he. She could want a boy band member. Will come and sing at their party or graduation, just like here in America. People will hire stars out for private parties, for political events. You've seen a lot of political events with famous people. We've seen a lot of private people at private parties. People have corporate parties where people are there to sing and host at corporate parties. And you'd be at a corporate party. I used to work for a Fortune 500 company, one of the largest companies in the world. And we would have corporate retreats and there would be semi-famous people there. I've talked about it before that I worked for this company for 8 years and we had corporate retreats and there would be some kind of washed up has-been star. Now that's kind of how it happens in America. But in Korea, you can really get an up and coming K-pop singer, male or female, to come and do your event. So that's scenario number 2. So let's just say your son is a fan of a group. Once again, I'm Korean Opa, rich Korean Opa. And my son is like, I would really like to have this person to to meet up with and go and be out one night. What? So you're thinking, okay, wait, what? Nothing hanky panky, Nothing going on. We're not talking about escort situation. Just I want this person to come hang out, let's just say with me and my friends. Let's say I'm a 20-year-old guy and I didn't see a member of let's just say the another group. Let's just make up a group again. Star. I'm not trying to call out any group. So there's a new K-pop group named Star, and your son is like, ooh wee. They are the up and coming K-pop group, and they're these girls around 19, 20, around his age, and he's like, Opa, me and my friends are having a gathering at this exclusive club. Is there any way you can get this particular member of Star to come and sit with us at this club? You're Oprah. You have a lot of money. So you're like, I don't know. Let me call. So you call the agency, and again, an open up and coming agency, an agency that needs money. All this person has to do is be at this club, go to the VIP section where my son is at, and sit with my son. Again, this happens in America. That's all they got to do. Sit in the VIP section with my son for clout. You know, they, like young folks say, clout chasing. So they like $20,000. How long do they have to be there? Where's the place at? How long did how are you going to send a car? They're going to get back and forth. We'll send a car. They only have to be there like 3 or 4 hours. Maybe we'll pay them per hour that they're there. They just have to be charming. They just have to talk to my son. Maybe kind of pretend that maybe that they know my son. Maybe the son wants to impress the friends and be like, look, my dad knows blah, blah, blah from this K-pop group. She'll show up to our little get together in the VIP section of a club. Do you understand where I'm going with this? So when I tell people, when people talk about K-pop singers, especially lady ones, doing something strange for a piece of change, I'm like, these things happen. I'm not saying it happened to IU or Jennie. Jennie is part of YG, so she's not in some small little group. Okay. She's not in a small group with a small company that is struggling. So that's a situation. Do I personally believe it? No. Do I believe somebody spread rumors about Jennie and IU? Yeah, probably. Sometimes it's out of spite. Sometimes it's out of jealousy. So you don't know what the motivation is for somebody spreading around rumors. But I can tell you, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, like, yeah, that kind of happens. So you can understand how it can lead to, I'm hiring this person for this event, then it would hire to like, I'm hiring this person to go on a date, then it could lead to like, I'm hiring this person to do other things. And if a star is desperate enough, you know, it's a possibility. Hello, Moonlight. Hello, everybody. That it's definitely, hello, JK. It's definitely a possibility. And again, I'm not saying this. This is nothing that I am saying that I am making up. There are K-pop trainees and singers who have said that this has happened to them. There are K-pop singers who used to be singers that are. Have y'all guys ever heard of? It's not called Africa anymore. There's a Korean website that used to be called Africa, where they had a lot of influencers on the site, and a lot of influencers would do like they weren't doing like sexual things, but they would like be topless and half naked. And some of these were trainees. Some of these were members in old K-pop groups. Some of these were like what they call doing, I forgot a term for it, but doing adult content, like quasi adult content. They would be on camera, and these dudes would throw all this money. Hello, JK, you late girl, but you just on time. They would throw all this money at them, and they would do things on camera. They would be on camera in their bikinis and stuff like that. Let me look it up. I'm trying to think of it because the website has changed its name, but it's a big site. It's like a big site. You think it's true? I'm saying it's possible. I don't think Jennie, like I don't think IU and Jennie would do. But then again, like I said, I don't put anything past anybody in K-pop. I don't put anything because the industry has a weird underbelly. And again, and I said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it for the people in the back. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Everything in the K-pop industry, almost everything they got from America. I'm going to say it again. Everything in the K-pop industry, whether we're talking about in front of the camera or behind the camera, Lee Soo-man, Bong Shik, JYP, the CEO of YG, the people who started these companies, they went to America and learned this shit. So when they talk about it in America, we have something called the casting couch. Back in the day, back in the golden age of movies, you know, Judy Garland, back in the 30s and 40s, women would sleep with directors and stuff to get roles. It was whispered about for the longest time, but then people come out and admit it like, well, yeah, people slept with directors and producers to get roles or heads of studios to get roles. Again, this is nothing that Korea started. There are stars out there that once they become washed up or has-beens that this is what they do. There are plenty of stars out there behind the scenes, y'all, that have done this. Men and women stars who've done this. So I like I said, I don't see Jennie or IU being in the financial straits enough to do something like this. But if your label comes to you and tell you, I need you to do this, would they do it? I don't know. Would anybody do it? If their label come to you and say, look, I really need you to do this. I need you to make this happen. We need this money. Girl, I need you to go here and make this money. You know, then you're like, okay, but IU is worth like $30 million. So like I said, I don't know. But then another thing I had to say again, they got it from America. And then another thing I had to say, is it consensual adults? Because y'all know that you will get none of this hoity-toity morality shit from me. I'm not going to sit on my morality high horse and be like, oh my God. I'm like, is everybody consenting adults? Is anybody being pressured or blackmailed to do anything? No. Is it legal? Maybe. But I'm like, are we all consenting adults and this is what you want to do? Okay, I told y'all before, I said BTS could come up here and have the most bombest orgy that I've ever seen. And I will walk in the orgy and I will look around and I'll be like, is everybody here over the age of 18? Yes. Is everybody here not like on being drugged or with alcohol? Are you guys all sane? And yes, we are. Is everybody have a safe word? They'd be like, yes, Kiki, the safe word is butter. I'll be like, okay, the safe word is butter, everybody. Okay, carry on. Like, oh, carry on with your orgy. Okay, I'll see you guys later. I'll be over here in the corner watching. I'll be like, that's how my morality don't go. My morality go like that. I don't care if they all 7 members were like smooth like butter, criminal undercover. I'd be like, is everybody here over the age 18? Everybody here because they want to be here, right? Y'all all legal. Okay, carry on. Like, carry on. Smooth like butter, criminal. Light it up like dynamite tonight. Bye, JK. Y'all have fun. Y'all sugar, I'm gonna see you later. I'm gonna see you later. That's my morality. It's like, I don't have any problems with that. I don't, because I understand that like this goes on not just in the entertainment industry, but in the real world as well. Like all these rich businessmen, I'm like, y'all do understand that rich people get women inside and outside the industry. You know what I'm saying? Like they pull strings. And you see a bunch of rich dudes with really attractive, intelligent, smart women. And you're like, why? Is it the money? Because rich dudes get women, whether it be a marriage type situation or just like hooking up for the night type of situation. I'll see you later, sugar. Yes, I will see you later. I'll be like, sugar, I'll see you later, Oprah. I'll see you later. See you in a minute. Like I'll be like, I'm next. Who's next? Me. Like I'm not the moral police because I understand that these are adults. I understand these are grown people. And I told y'all before in my previous live stream that I just had where I talked about the scandal with the I did or ID member and that the things he said in text messages. And I just kind of giggled at it because he was a 17-year-old douchebag. And I'm like, he's a douchebag. He's a 17-year-old little jerk. and he's bragging about sex and stuff. And K-pop fans get all like in there, and I have no idea for the life of me, why do K-pop stands be so clutching the pearls, the morality pearls, when I'm like, so K-pop stands, which dude was you dicking down last night? Just like, what? I'm like, so K-pop fans, y'all are all sexless? All of y'all ain't getting it in? I pity y'all. I'm like, so all of y'all are virgins. All of you K-pop fans are virgins. What? I'm not a virgin. Dear BTS, I don't expect y'all to be virgins. I'm not a virgin. So I'm like, all you K-pop fans, all y'all virgins. All of y'all. I can't impose morality on other people that I'm like, that I don't follow. I'm not a virgin. I have two kids, so obviously I'm not a virgin. I have two children. So obviously at some time, you know, like I've done the do. So I'm like, all you K-pop fans are virgins? Really? All of you? All of you. I know some of y'all, some of the K-pop fans are really young, but I'm just like, even the young ones, I'm like, so y'all don't have no boyfriends and no girlfriends, and I gotta take a drink. Y'all not sneaking out with y'all, but y'all okay. So I don't understand. I because I'm new to K-pop, I don't understand. Like my sister-in-law is like, well, they're just little kids. I'm like, I was a little kid too. I was a teenager. I was a 17-year-old girl, just like everybody else. At 17, I had a boyfriend. And I can tell you, we weren't holding hands in a cornfield. I may have been holding something else, but it wasn't hands in a fucking cornfield. I'm telling you that. I'm just like, so y'all not doing nothing? Maybe in an alternate universe there'll be that's what I'm saying. I'm saying so all K-pop fans are all of y'all are asexual. The ridiculousness of it. I'm just like, well, Jennie, they couldn't. I'm just like, so what if she did? Like, I would be like, was it worth it? Girl, sis, how much did you get paid? Like, what was it? Was it a lot of money? Was it good? Was he a good looking guy at least? Hopefully it didn't last very long and she got paid very well. I'm like, girl, high five. Like, I'm just like, okay, like the clutching of the pearls, it makes me giggle because I'm just like, so y'all just asexual? Y'all like none of y'all are getting it in? I just be over here dying. Yeah, but that makes it prostitution. Which is illegal in South Korea, yeah. But that's the only problem that I have with it is that it's illegal. That's the only. If South Korea would make a law today and be like, well, that's okay, I'd be like, well, you know, like then yeah, it would be prostitution. But do y'all not understand that this happens in the music industry and South Korea didn't create this? That this happens in the American industry. This happens here. Do y'all not hear enough about Diddy and the fucking freak offs? Do y'all not watching the Diddy trial going, okay, do y'all think Diddy's the only person having freak offs? That this don't happen in the Korea? Okay. I'm just like, why is anybody shocked about what goes on in the entertainment industry, regardless of whether it's America and Korea? Diddy and Harvey Weinstein ain't the only nasty men in the industry. The industry is dominated by men. Dominated by men. Surrounded by young girls, younger women. You put two and two together, you figure it out. Korea is a very male-dominated, patriarchal society. Korea has its own issues with just regular people, with regular misogyny, with domestic V. Korea has its own societal issues. So the idea that K-pop singers, male ones, female ones, they don't fall, not all of them, fall into that? Y'all think all these male K-pop singers are not horny? They're young guys. Like, I don't expect a 17, 18-year-old K-pop singer to be asexual. I expect him to be a man. I'm like, oh, that's a man. He's a man that likes to do man things. I would say before, I have a 15-year-old son. The day I wake up and expect my son to just be like, well, like, do y'all go to school with 17, 18, or when I went to school with 17, 18-year-old boys before? I've had male friends. Guess what? They talk about sex all the time. They talk about butts. They talk about boobs. They talk about up tops. They talk about down belows. That's what boys talk. That's what young men talk about. So K-pop singers don't talk about that. K-pop girls who are very attractive in their prime, they don't see a dude and be like, damn, like, oh, whew, like, oh, he's real cute. Maybe I need to get the. It's human nature. It's human nature for us to recognize beauty, recognize someone's attractive, whether you're gay or straight, especially when you're young and your hormones are raging and maybe you're a virgin, you've never had sex before, you've never had a date before, and you want to. Because that happens with normal people in high school and in college. So everybody y'all live in this asexual bubble where no one talks about sex. And I don't know where y'all live, but I've talked to people all over the world. I've talked to people in India. I've talked to young men in Korea. I've talked to people and they talk about sex a lot. Hi, Blackpink. Blackpink said hi. Said hi. The modeling industry is horrible. The entertainment industry, period, is horrible. But the idea that these men can't be men is like insane to me, or these women can't be women. Y'all all look. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. Like I said, this is a grown people conversation. Y'all all know a hoe. I'm not saying there's nothing to do with Jennie and IU, but everybody know you got that one family member or friend that's a little boy crazy. They always have boys around them. Like I said, there's nothing to do with IU or Jennie. But I'm just saying that in society, there's all kinds of people. There's the demure one. I'm just saying there's people who are really shy. There's people really introverted. There's the really outgoing one. There's the really va-va-va-voom. I had a va-va-va-voom friend. A va-va-va-voom friend. I had a friend that was very developed and outgoing, and she was flirty, and she was the it girl. I had a friend like that in college who all the boys liked her. Same thing happened in K-pop. There are women in K-pop who are very flirty and very outgoing, and not that they're doing anything, but they attract a lot of attention. Then there's some that are just sitting in the corner like this, like me. I'm be in the corner like, okay, like that's just happened. But no, I don't think that people should spread fake or false rumor. But the point is, even if Jennie did do it, I'm not mad at her. I'm a casual Blackpink fan. I'm not here on the morality police. If Jennie wants to date, regardless of the money situation, if Jennie wants to go and date and get with and have sex with multiple men, what am I going to say? Oh, Jennie, you're not. She's a grown woman. She's in her 20s. She can date whoever she want to date. She can do whatever she want to do. I'm like, is everybody over the age of 18? You're not coerced or forced in anything, Jennie? You okay? You got a safe word, Jennie. Jennie, do you have a safe word? Then I'm fine with it. It doesn't make me think any less of Jennie because what? That she had sex with some BMW Air dude? Why would that stress people out? I'm like, I still love Jennie. I still love IU. It doesn't affect me one way or another because I understand the business for what it is. I understand that these things happen. I'm not saying this happened with IU or Jennie. I don't know them. But I'm just saying that things like this do happen in the business. For people to sit around here and be on some morality kick like, oh, and then and then you don't know these people. I don't know. Nobody knows. Even the people who did the podcast don't even know. All I'm saying is it possible? Yeah. Has it happened to other K-pop stars? This is not a secret. Y'all can go online and look at, pull it up on YouTube, pull it on the computer. There are plenty of K-pop stars that have talked about the same thing. They weren't talking about anything that hasn't been out there for decades. The K-pop industry is not what y'all think it is. I've said it before. If you're new to my live, I've said it over and over again on my live streams. Your K-pop idols are hooking up. There are some K-pop idols that are nice. There's some K-pop idols that are not nice. There's some K-pop idols that are very promiscuous. There is a lot of STDs. Let me say it for the people who don't hear me. There is a lot of STDs in the K-pop industry because people are fucking around. People had to go to the doctor and get on lots of medication because they're out with this woman and that woman and this woman. And I've said it before, in the K-pop industry, there are hangers on. There are people who float around in K-pop circles and they go from K-pop guy to guy to guy to guy. That's what they do. That's how they make their money. Like I said, the whole situation with the actor that took his own life that was in Parasite. If y'all know that whole story, it is tragic and sad, but he was being blackmailed by one of these groupies. And he was out, and he had a wife, but he was out at hosting bars, and this chick owned a hosting bar, and he was out with her, allegedly, cheating on his wife, well, allegedly, and she was blackmailing him. Do y'all not understand this goes on in the K-pop industry all the time? They had a football star recently that's getting blackmailed by a chick because she told him that she was pregnant and she was going to out him and all that. I sat there and was like, oh, wow. Even the sports stars. And then she turned out she wasn't pregnant. She was just blackmailing him. Like, she was like, I'm pregnant, And Burning Sun. Everybody should know about Burning, right, JK? Everybody should know about Burning Sun. If you don't know about Burning Sun, go look it up. Make sure you ain't on your work computer. Don't do it. Don't get fired over Burning Sun. Don't be looking it up and get fired. I didn't tell you to get fired. Now look, it's not safe for work or school. But Burning Sun, everybody should know about Burning Sun by now. Nobody should be shocked. Everybody should just be like, well, because Burning Sun not only does it give you a glimpse into like K idols, that element. The thing that fascinated me about Burning Sun, what it gave you a glimpse into the Korean nightlife. Because that's something that doesn't get discussed very often is the Korean nightlife and the Korean club scene. That people understand what really happening in these VIP rooms. I say, y'all do know they having sex in these VIP rooms. That happens. Not that they drugging people, but I'm like, this happens in VIP rooms. Burning Sun, if you go back and watch that and take the K-pop out of it, and you will hear things and you be like, that's what's going on in clubs? That's what's happening in clubs? Then you understand what you're up against. And when they talk about clubs, K-pop singers, K-idols, K-drama stars, they go to these clubs. They hang out at these clubs. Not saying that they're doing anything wrong, but they go to these clubs. But to me, Burning Sun was intriguing, not because of the K-pop thing. That was interesting. And what they were doing was horrible. But it was just like the nonchalantness of the way people, even law enforcement, realized what was going on in this club. That they were very nonchalant about it. They were just kind of like, oh, well, the guy was like, but they got VIP rooms and they taking women and the police was just like, the police was like, hey, this happens all the time, man. Like the police was like, I was like, okay, the police is taking this really lightly, because in America, if you go up to somebody and be like, they having sex with women and they doing this in a club, they be like, what? Like this whole ordinances where I live, where you cannot even get naked, and they have like strip clubs, you can strip and everything, but you cannot be up here having sex in clubs because your clubs will get raided. I know clubs where people were doing those things and they were raided. But anyway, like listen, that's neither here nor there. But I do know clubs in America, in Dallas, where people were actually doing that, where people were having escorts in rooms, having sex with clients. And these clubs constantly got raided. But in South Korea, the way the police acted, I was like, y'all didn't seem too shocked about. And then I heard someone from South Korea tell me, oh, this kind of stuff happens in clubs all the time. They have whole rooms back there where people be getting it in. I was like, I said, so this would be happening in Saudi? Yeah. And I'm not talking about ratchet clubs. I'm talking about high-end clubs. That this is a lot of this stuff that goes on. So to me, Burning Sun, when you go back and rewatch the videos and learn about Burning Sun, go and pay attention to how nonchalant the police were about the things that were going on. You know, a woman was dragged out of there screaming. Everybody's just like, oh, there go another one. All right. Anyway, I mean, it was no big deal to them to see a woman being dragged out of a club screaming. It was no big deal that people were doing sexual things in the club. It was just kind of like, I was like, what kind of club is this? I mean, granted, like I said, here in America, when you go into like a lower end, when you go into like the hood, you in a ghetto, or you just you in a small country club out here where I live in the sticks, and things go down in little small, like podunk ass clubs, you see things going down like that, the drugs and the drinking and all that. But to know that this is in the middle of Seoul, that this is a nice high-end club, and people were just like, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, if this goes on here, what else is going on in these clubs? I'm like, I want to know. So I went down a rabbit hole when I found out about Burning Sun a couple of years ago. I went down a rabbit hole about the Seoul nightlife, and I would implore anybody to go down the rabbit hole to discover what Seoul nightlife is, and then think about your favorite K-pop group, because these stars and celebrities do go to these clubs. Now they be wearing hoodies and jackets and all disguise, but they do go to these clubs, y'all. They do go to these high-end clubs in Seoul. And the things that kind of pop off in these clubs and these things that you hear people talk about on the internet is very eye-opening. And so you kind of see a little bit of like the underbelly of Seoul nightlife. But it's out there. And like I said, most of these things are happening at high-end rich clubs. It's not like some podunk club in Itaewon somewhere. But these are happening at mixed clubs. And then in Korea, I tell people, for people who don't know, they have clubs in Korea that foreigners can't go to. So those clubs, good luck. I'm like, good luck. Because from what I know, it really goes down in them clubs. The ones where they don't allow foreigners. There's whole stretches of Itaewon that have clubs that they don't even allow foreigners there. So, it's a whole thing. And Seoul is not the only country that has a problem. But what comes into view is the entertainment industry. And so, again, I tell people the entertainment industry in Seoul, South Korea is very close-knit. Everybody knows everybody else. People know people that know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, or related to somebody. So a lot of people do really know each other. But again, what I'm saying is that I'm not saying anything new. I'm not dropping any bombs. There's videos and records and things out there that talks about K-pop female singers having to do something strange for a piece of change, having to draw on investors and having to dress a certain way and go to certain parties. And like I said, I gave y'all scenarios. I said, so my other question is for the people watching this video, if you had unlimited amount of money and you could get a date with your favorite bias, would you do it? That's the real question. If you had unlimited money, somebody gave you millions and millions of dollars, and they said, you could be with this K-pop star. It don't have to be nothing sexual, but on a date with them or hang out with them for a day. You just have to pay say something reasonable, like $100,000. Would you do it? Most people be like, well, let me think about it. Yeah. So if you would offer that much money, just think of all the rich Chinese and Korean business people who you think that they don't see these K-pop stars. You think that they don't see them when they sit at home and they're like, yeah, just one date. I just want to do one date. And then something may happen. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that Jennie was soliciting. What I'm saying is, if you're going to pay $100,000 for your K-pop date And you like, look, we don't have to have sex. We're just hanging out. I just need to hang out with this person for 4 hours. And then something does happen sexual. Let's say y'all really hit it off. And your K-pop oppa is like, hey, let's go back to your house and let's have ramen. So they come to you and they're like, are we gonna go back to your house or having ramen or not? And so again, it's not a solicitation because you just paid to meet this person and hang out with this person. You're not paying to sleep with this person. So my question is that solicitation? Is that prostitution? If you're willing and being like, well, that's not part of the plan, but I really like you and I'm really attracted to you and I've had a really good time tonight. I mean, ladies, come on now, come on. Are you gonna be like, no, Jimin, no, Opa, I can't. Like, no, Jimin, I'm not gonna go home and have ramen with you. Damn it, I have my principles. Shit. I'd be like, well, can I just take a shower real quick? Let me just get up. Okay, I'll be right back. Jimin. I'm gone. Hear me running to the bathroom. Yeah, they come out. If Jimmy come to you and be like, I have a pet cat at home. I want you to see my cat, and you're like, Park Jimin. Because you only paid for a date. You only paid for 4 hours. And again, it's not solicitation unless it's sex. So you can pay for an escort. Again, being an escort in Korea and America is not illegal. You can pay to be a hostess. You can pay to be an escort. You can pay somebody to come to a corporate event or a party or whatever. You pay this person to come to a corporate event or a party or a club and to sit in your VIP section, and then all suddenly VIP becomes VIP, if you know what I mean. It puts the P in the VIP. So you get the real VIP. They're putting the P in the VIP. So it's not part of the deal, but Park Jimin is sitting over there looking at you like, she is kind of cute, he didn't got a little soju in him. He didn't got a little soju, and then y'all are having a good time and hitting it off. And so, what I'm saying is that I can see where people may think it's solicitation and prostitution, but it may have been somebody that hired Jennie for a corporate event, and maybe she got to chatting up the dude and been like, okay, well, let's go. Like, I'm having a good time. You having a good time. And this is not part of the deal, but the do happened. And what person in their right mind? Look, I wouldn't turn down Jennie Kim. I mean, y'all lost your mind. I'm not even into women. I ain't never been with a woman. Don't want to be a woman. But Jennie Kim started looking my way. I'm like, Jennie Kim. Jennie Kim. Jennie, what you looking at? Oh, girl. Girl, what you looking at? Girl, you looking? Oh, me? Oh, shit. I be like, well, I'm be gay today. I'm like, she like, who in there right about to be like, oh, Jennie Kim, I can't. Girl, I can't right now. I'm single. I'm like, I'm single, Jennie. You're single, maybe. Jennie's like, I'm feeling something tonight with you, Kiki. And I'm like, Jennie, you know what? I'm feeling it too. I'm feeling it too, Jennie. It's like, Jennie, I know. Soul City, Jennie. Soul City, girl. I don't want to start a war, Jennie, but girl, this is happening. This is going to happen. Me and Jennie be like this. I would do it. No, Jennie Kim, no. You know what? I'm not gay. You're Jennie, like, I'll be like, well, she offering, she throwing it out there. So, I'm going to catch it. Like, I'm like, so, like I said, I'm not saying that she did it on a solicitation thing. It may have been a situation she was hired for an event. And then she ended up sleeping with a dude. Like, and then people kind of like, I paid her because, that's how dudes brag. Dudes gonna make it out to be something more what it was because men are fucking liars. Like, I don't believe a man when it comes to anything, talking about anything sexual or dating or anything like that, because they're gonna lie and just throw stuff out there. Like I said, this dude may have went on a date with Jennie Kim, and she may have been like, "Thanks, but no thanks. I gotta go. I gotta go home. I'm tired." And he may have just lied and said that. But then they said they had some kind of tape. Again, I won't believe it until I see the tape. Like if the tape is out there, somebody gonna find somebody right now is on their computer trying to find this tape. Somebody is somewhere trying to break into something illegal, trying to hack into something. Somebody is trying to find this tape. Because if it exists and it's out there, then it's out there. And then again, like I said, worst case scenario, if there is a sex tape that show up, I'm just gonna be like, all right, Jennie Kim. Oh, look how beautiful she looks. Oh, girl, look at you, girl. And that's my whole attitude. Oh, girl, okay. Hope she had fun that night. She looks great though. She looks beautiful. That's my objectability. I'm just like, oh, Jennie, it's Jennie Kim. Like, who are you, girl? I'll be like, Jennie, isn't she beautiful, Jennie? Like, it's because again, it's grown people. It's grown. These are grown people. Like how? Like, are you an adult? Then yeah, you're an adult. So I'm just like, okay, you're an adult. Okay, so I don't understand the K-pop tyrannical purity is to me insane. Again, as a BTS stan, as Army, as a sugar. God damn it. Well, do I have to remind people? Do I have to remind people? God damn it. I got a whole BTS shower curtain. I got a whole ass BTS shower curtain. Do I have to remind y'all that when I take my clothes off and take a shower, these mofos are staring at me? Yes. That I have a whole BTS pillow. Like I have BTS like I am Army, okay? That I have no problem with my bias, who is Sugar, by the way, doing anything that he want to do as long as he grown. As long as we're grown people doing grown people things. Sugar can be grown. I want this man to be as grown as he wants to be. He wants to be grown. If he wants to be a playboy and have 4 or 5 different women, I'm just like, okay. If they're like, ooh, Sugar got a sex tape, I'm like, let me get my private computer out. like where can I download this and see this? Because I'm really interested. Like I need to do research purposes so I can come on here and do a live stream about it. I need to research. Like I am not having no qualms about either one of my boys doing grown people stuff. They are grown men. These are men in their fucking 30s. Blackpink will eventually be women in their 30s and their 40s. They will get married. They will have kids if they so want to. Some of them may be bachelorettes for the rest of their life. Some of them may be gay. I don't know. All I know is I am not in my K-pop Opa's bedroom. I am not in Sugar's bedroom. I expect Sugar to be a man like he want to be a man. He a man. Like he a man. I'm going to do man things. He a man. I'm going to let that man be a man. Like I'm not in their bedroom. I like the music. I'm not liking Blackpink because I expect Jennie to be some asexual androgynous virgin. If the lady in the podcast was talking about most of the K-pop women are whores, I giggled. I was like, define whore. I'm like, so we gonna y'all talk about misogyny in South Korea. Y'all talk about the patriarchy, but then you call women whores. I found that ironic as well. I said, so they're whores? Okay. But no, it's the misogyny and the patriarchy, but they're whores? All right. Just calling them whores. That's some strong language there to be calling another woman a whore. Although those are words that I don't think I would ever call another woman. Oh, she's a whore. Like, that is such slut shaming. That is such derogatory terms for women. That is such feeding into misogyny and feeding into the patriarchy horribly. I would never get on here and call a woman a whore. I would never get on here and degrade a woman for her choices in her lifestyle and her sexuality. It is none of our business what Jennie does or does not with her body at the end of the day. That is my whole point in this video. It is none of our fucking business. If Jennie wants to go out and have sex with every man the fuck she comes across, I'd be like, well, as long as it's consensual and everybody's of age and that's what she want to do, it is none of our business what Jennie wants to do with her life. Same thing about IU. I love IU. There's none of my business what IU want to do with her body. That's what she want to do. Okay, if it's something illegal, call the cops. Go present your evidence and take it to the police. I don't care what people do with their bodies. I don't care. It's not my business. I'm not in people's sex life and like, ooh, this person dated this person and this person. You'll never hear this. You will never hear that shit on my channel. Oh, this person does that. I'm like, they dated. Okay, I did a whole video about K-pop singers dating and why this is a silly thing and that I wish everybody would just get over it. Again, I will do another video about the whole sexuality and people worried about somebody, whether they're gay or not, and people, well, this person's straight, this person's gay. I don't care if all BTS is gay. I don't care if they all straight. I don't care if one of them is gay. All of them is gay. Half of them, I don't care if they gay with each other. That has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with the reason why I like a group or not. I don't sit there and like Blackpink and think, oh, well, they're just virgins. They're just untouchable. Like the finger pointing, yeah. Hello, Ukraine. She said it makes me laugh when some people say my bias is pure. I don't know who in their right mind would be like their bias is pure. Your bias is not pure. I've said it in my videos again for the people in the back. Let me say it again. Your K-pop singers are hooking up. They hook up all the time. It happens in the industry. I have 2 friends that are in the industry that work for 2 major companies. And they work on staff and they see things and they hear things that I don't say on my channel, that I wouldn't dare say on my channel, because I respect them as people and I respect their jobs. There are things that I hear all the time. I come on here and I speak in generalities, but I tell y'all the things that I will throw little hints here and there that if you watch my live videos, you will read between the lines of what I'm saying. If you really pay attention real hard, that sometimes I do drop bombs but I just kind of throw it out there real quick. But I try not to out anybody, like when it comes to like sexuality and adult type of stuff. I don't gossip about who's dating who or who dating who. But I get angry when people go in on this morality shit, because I'm like, again, I say it again over and over again. Where do you think the Korean industry learned it from? They learned it from here in America. And these fucking people in America, I will do a whole video about my family and they're behind the scenes. My uncles worked as session musicians in Motown that went on tour with some of the best singers in the 50s and the 60s. And if you think now is bad, I'm like, back in the 60s, before social media, before the internet, before all that, in the 60s and 70s, baby, they were having cocaine-fueled orgies all the time. I'm a little kid listening to like stories about like Motown star, again, that I won't out anybody, but I've heard things, and I hear about like these clubs that my mom used to go to, my aunts used to go to, and the circles they used to run around. My family married into a very famous family, not the Jacksons, but they married into a famous, my family was married to them. And I could get on here and tell you, I'm going to start a Patreon where I can tell y'all the things that I've seen and learned about being around in Motown and being around in the industry. There's a channel. Okay, let me just tell y'all something. There's a channel called Ashley Says So, and she talks about Hollywood scandals and Motown and music scandals. I send her information all the time. So sometimes you'll watch a channel called Ashley Says So, and some of the stuff that she's talking about is things that I've actually told her about because my family was there. Like my family hung around Detroit and was around that kind of scene. Like back in the day, my mom and her and my aunts were those girls. They were the groupie club girls. Like they hung around famous people, boxers, singers. They like again, my family intermarried with the famous family, um, which is very tragic. Which is very it's a tragic story. Then again, that I don't talk about on here. Um, but I've heard things and I've seen things in the American music industry that I'm like, that happens in Korea. That people are shocked, and I'm like, honey, it's been happening in the American entertainment industry for years. Again, the things that these businessmen have learned have been going on since the dawn of time. It happens in every country. There's exploitation in every industry in every country, but the entertainment industry is very exploitive. You don't have longevity in the entertainment industry in America or Korea by being thin skinned and not seeing some things. You will see things that either you got some choices to make. Do you understand why y'all K-pop singers be taking mental health breaks? Do y'all not understand? People think, oh, well, it's them starving themselves and them working really hard. Yeah, that's part of it too. But the other part, do y'all think that these people take mental health breaks and take these physical health breaks, and some people even get hospitalized just because they're physically sick? Some of these people have been treated a certain way, they've been talked to a certain way, and some people are just not made for the business. They're just not. They're not made for the business. Some people are fragile. Some people already have a history of mental health issues and eating disorders. Do y'all know how many K-pop singers are out there cutting on themselves and suffer from eating disorders and nervous disorders to the point that they get so stressed that they scared to get on stage. You know how many K-pop stars talk about them scared to get on stage? They develop severe, deep anxiety about being on stage because the business is not for the weak. It is not for the weak-minded. That you breathe wrong and then everybody's gonna go on the internet and slam you. Not everybody can take that. Not everybody can has the mental fortitude and the parental backing to be grounded in that business. It takes a lot. It takes more strength to be in the Korean business than it does here in America. It takes a lot of strength. Yeah, they take a break to do plastic surgery too. Yeah, once you've seen it and heard it, yeah, there's no going back. There was no going back for me once I started discovering things 2 years ago. No, I have checked out XG in the Rain, MV, Pop Home. Hey, I love it. I love XG. You know, I'm a big supporter of XG. But yeah, a lot of them do take breaks for plastic surgery, then they go recover. But some of them are really, really suffering. Like some people are just not made for the industry. They're just not. They break down. They have all kinds of things going. Like they already had a history of mental. Then some of these K-pop people come from really messed up homes. Some of these people have abusive parents. Some of the K-pop singers got parents kicking their ass every day. I ain't gonna lie. They got parents that was talking down to them when they was little. Some of these singers see K-pop as an escape from their home lives. Y'all do understand that there's some of these K-pop become trainees early because they see it as a way of escaping their home life. That their home life is so oppressive and so crazy that they like, I would rather be here than be at home with my parents and my family. They may have a parent that's whooping their ass every day. They in some kind of way they got a parents that's just verbally just talking down to them and real mean. Like some of them just see like I want to dance, I want to sing, and I gotta get out of here. I really got to get out of here. But it's a business that's not made for everybody. And it's a business that is very grueling on your mental health if you're not strong enough. And then some people are just not strong. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody is built the same. And then some people last about 4 or 5 years and they group gets disbanded and they fizzle out and they just next thing you know they're working at a coffee shop somewhere and you're like, didn't that person used to be in that group and blah blah blah, and then they're working at a coffee shop somewhere. They're working at a cafe. They also, yeah, some need money. Some of them come from very poor families, and this is their way of trying to bring their family up. I love the music video. It does give me a Janet Jackson feeling. J-Hope new song coming out. I absolutely love it. Do I think that Mona Lisa deserves a better music video? Yes, K-pop home. I do. I have the Korean education system is crazy. It's very press. Korean society, period, is very oppressive. I would make it as a Korean. Like I'm too like neurotic and a lot of anxiety. I love J Hope's new song that's coming out. I love sexy J Hope. I love J. I love. I let me tell you. I love any K-pop singer. Me and my sister-in-law had this conversation. We love the male K-pop singers when they get to be 30. When the male K-pop singers hit 30, to me that's when they become the sexiest. They hit their stride. I don't like them when they little boys and they 20-year-old and that's cute. It's too cute to cutesy for me. But once they hit to be in their 30s and 40s, to me K-pop male singers just come into their own masculinity, their own handsomeness when they get older. As they get older. They have more agency, especially after they go to the military. They seem to have more confidence and more agency, and like the way they carry themselves is a little bit different. Some of the military is not good. I've talked about this. JK. Anyway, some of them did not have good experiences, but some of them it has taught them to be more independent. It has toughened them up a little bit. So I like that. You like Sweet Dreams better? Sweet Dreams is a cute song. But I like Mona Lisa's more myself. But all of J Hope's music is something that I like. I really, again, I am a rap line girl. I'm a rap girl. So anytime you put out any kind of R&B, rap, any kind of hip hop thing, I'm going back and re-listening to RM's album because when it came out, I did not like it. But I'm going back and listening to it. It's not my style of hip hop. It's not my. I like J Hope. I like Sugar, of course. That's more my style of hip hop. RM is a little bit more experimental than what I like, but no. But so that's it. I mean, I value it for its artistic value. People in hip hop spaces seem to really love RM's album, but it's just not for me. It's just not mine. You need Hobie's rap rasp. I need Hobie. Hobie's grown and sexy now. I'm like, Hobie didn't worked out. Hobie been hiding his little body. Hobie looking nice. But I wish the best to everybody in the K-pop industry. Again, I don't drag anybody in the K-pop industry. Again, never on my channel you gonna hear grown folk stuff. and I do have to say, I go around and I watch a lot of YouTube channels. I watch a lot of YouTube, like different channels here and there, and it's mostly little kids. It's like most of the people that have K-pop channels are like in their early 20s, in their 20s, and then there's the BTS reactors, the K-pop reactors, and they don't really offer any type of commentary. They watch music videos or dance videos and they talk about the music. I don't want to talk about the music because I'm not a music person. I'm not like into, the musicality. I'm into the business. The people, the channels that I really watch, like High Boy, Asian Entertainment, Soul Light TV, me, we are grown ass people. We are all over 40. I hate to be outing Sean from Soul Light. Sean from Soul Light TV is like my fake Korean Opa husband. I am so in love with Sean from Soul Light TV. He is so cute to me. Like I just watch him and I'm like, I'll be distracted from. So if you're not seeing Sean in Soul Light TV, please go look at because Sean be cute to me. He just be so sexy with it. He just be like, he's so cute. Like I could sit down with him and have a conversation and we could just chop it up all day. Like I could chop it up with Sean all day. We got the same kind of sassy sense of humor, and I love him. I hate when K-pop started catering to little kids. I absolutely positively hate it. I went back because again, I started getting into K-pop in 2022. So I'm gonna come on record and tell ya, I hate it. I went back and watched K-pop when it was like in 20, 2020, 2019, like way back in the day. Like 2012, like with Big Bang. I'm watching K-pop going, what happened? What 21, Big Bang, Reina? What? I'm like, we went from Raina to this now. reason why I like Blackpink is Blackpink came out hard. They came out like not little girls. They were like real. But I can't do this. That's why I don't like girl groups. I'm doing a whole video, editing a whole video why I don't like girl groups. It is too cutesy. You won't let these girl groups grow up. There's no more sexy concepts. There used to be sexy concepts back in the early 2000s. You ain't got to be smutty. You ain't got to be dirty. You ain't got to be raunchy. You can be cute and be a little sexy and be grown with it and classy and grown with it. There's no more adulting. All these K-pop channels that I watch is little fucking girls. Little girls. I'm gonna say it for the people in the back who don't understand me. Little girls. I have contempt for the little girls. Little bitty girls. Little 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds doing K-pop videos. I mean, the commentary ones. Like, not the ones that are just posting clips and videos. They can do that. But the ones that are talking about the K-pop business, I'm just sitting there like this. I'm just sitting here like just suffering through videos while they talk about this whole Jennie IU thing. And I just want to I just sit here like blinking and confused. I was like, well, Jennie didn't do that. And Jennie, so if she did. Shit. If Jennie want to get dicked down by a BMW dude, let her do it. I'm like, so what? Because you 22-year-olds I'm like, so 22-year-old, you ain't got a boyfriend? You ain't never been dicked down by nobody? These are questions I want to ask. Let me stop for you. Y'all gonna make me get in trouble on YouTube. I just be looking at these videos with these 24-year-olds and they just be like, oh my God, they said Jennie. And I'm just like, okay, so what if she did? So then what are we going to do? What if the sex tape do come out? Then what? Y'all going to be upset because Jennie was getting it in with some BMW mogul? Let her get it in. BMW mogul, call me. We can get it in. Jennie, call me. Jennie, girl, we can get it in. Jennie. Have you ever met Jennie? Yes. I'll be like, I did meet her. I did. She did that song. I like that song. That's my ringtone, by the way, y'all. Right now, Blackpink is my ring. No, Jennie is my ringtone. I like the song Soul City. I'm like, Jennie, I want to roll around in Soul City with you, girl. What would we do? I'm like, so what if she did? I'm just like, again, the 22-year-olds and this like clutching the pearls and virtuousness. I'm like, are you a virgin? Little 24-year-old who doing YouTube videos and y'all talking about Jennie. Are you a virgin? Do you have a boyfriend? They don't never talk about that. Like, are you a virgin? Do you all these little kids on X, these little kids on X, and it's like, Jennie, no, they should sue. Okay, so how old are you? Do you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? You're a virgin? Let's talk about your sex life. 20-year-old. Let's talk about it. Did you go to? Didn't I see you at the club last week? Wasn't you behind the building, throaty boaty? Come on, stop playing with me today. Oh, I was like, weren't you throaty boaty last week? Hey, Zemo. I was like, weren't you throaty boaty last week? Like, y'all stop playing with me. I'm not gonna hold anyone to any kind of moralistic standard that I'm gonna be a hypocrite about. Like, Kiki, do you like men? I do. Kiki, do you like sexy time? I do. I want Blackpink to like it too. I'm like, girl, sexy time, girl. Let's talk about it. Like, I'm not gonna be like, well, I'm a virgin and I have 2 kids. I've been married. I'm not a virgin. Newsflash, I'm not a virgin. Like, newsflash, I do like it. I like intimacy. Shit. I'm not gonna be up here and be lying about now. Nah, Jennie Kim, you can't do that, Jennie. Like, I'm grown. Hi, Kenley and Heart Shakers. Hello. Lachi Mola. I'm like, y'all playing with me. I'm like, y'all better. I'm like, little kids, y'all better grow. Like I said on my channel, we talk about adult topics. Viewer discretion is advised because I talk about because I'm grown. I'm not a little girl. I'm not a little. Y'all may think I'm young, but I'm not a little girl. I'm an old woman. So I'm just like, and I've been around enough to know how men and women work. I've been around enough around in the industry to know how people work. I'm going hard. Yeah, I'm going hard because it just annoys me. Like I said, I had 2 weeks in a row where K-pop fans have severely annoyed me. Like I said, the thing with the I did or the idea, however you pronounce it, the thing with that dude, and they want to kick him out of the group because of his text messages. And I'm reading his text messages and I'm like, kiki, kiki. And I'm just giggling because I'm like, oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. And then people were like, well, no. And I'm just like, y'all trying to kick him out the group because of that? Yeah, K-pop need to start targeting older people. Because first of all, I said it before and I said it before and I say it again. It's the older fans that spend the money. Sorry, not to offend y'all young folks, but y'all 22, 23-year-old college kids and high school kids, y'all don't spend the money. It's fans like me to spend the money. I spent like $40 on my BTS shower curtain. Okay. Like we spend the money. Like older fans, I have disposable income. Look at sugar. That's all you gotta pay attention. You ain't gotta look at nothing else. You ain't gotta look at nothing else. You ain't gotta look at the look. Here's the other. I'm silly tonight, y'all. But yeah, like us older fans. Yeah, that's my BTS. That's my BTS pillow that I sleep next to because it's army. I'm army. So, but yeah, it's like it's us older fans that buy the merchandise. Or because the younger fans like they don't have disposable income. When you're especially in America where everybody is perpetually broke as hell, they don't have to go to concerts to buy merchandise. That takes money. So either you're a rich kid that belongs to a rich family, well-to-do family, or you're working hard for your merchandise to support your group and your bias. And there's nothing wrong with that. But us older fans, especially when you get to be my age, we have the disposable income. We're professionals. So I'm a professional. I have the disposable income. I can go to concerts and tours, and I'm going to Stray Kids on the 6th. So I'll be at Stray Kids next week, y'all. Yeah, that is next week. Next Friday, I'll be at Stray Kids, and I'll vlog it and film it on my channel. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. You're gonna miss out. But yeah. So I get to go to tours because I have the money. So K-pop has a smattering of old, especially BTS has a lot of older fans, just because BTS attracts everybody. But a lot of the K-pop music caters to these young kids, and I'm like, y'all are missing out because the money is what us old people. Us old people got the money. I got the disposable income. My sister-in-law, she's in her 30s. She's in her late 30s. We have disposable incomes to go to K-pop concerts. We can buy merchandise. I can drop $5,000 on tickets. The 17, 18-year-olds can't. They have to ask their parents, Mom, can you gonna give me $1,000 for a ticket? And yeah, inflation going crazy. You have permission to dance in butter pillowcase? See, Kenley, and you're a star. You said show you Jimin. Let's see Jimin. Where are we at? Park Jimin. Park Jimin. Where are you? Oh, hold on. I gotta turn this off. I gotta turn off my sleepy time. Park Jimin. Park Jimin. She be talking about show me Jimin. Girl, let's see what's it. Yo, you had Jimin. It's sugar. It's sugar. That's all you need to worry about. You just, no, wait, no. No, that's J-Hope. Park Jimin. Park Jimin right here. He looking so sad. Why does he look so sad there? Why are you looking sad, Mochi? Mochi Lala. Mochi Lala. That's okay, because we just need to look at sugar. That's it. That's all you need to look at is sugar. You love your homie. My favorite BTS song is Just One Day. Oh, Just One Day. J-Hope, yeah, J-Hope. J-Hope was like, I'm standing up and I'm giving you face right now. J-Hope, I love J-Hope. I love all of BTS, but y'all know Sugar my bias. Did y'all watch my video? I did a whole video talking about bias and bias wrecker. At the end, like, I had to give it up to JK for trying to wreck my bias. Thank you, Jungkook, for wrecking trying to wreck my bias. I love them all, but Jim got you in the chokehold. Jimin, I understand. I understand why people love Jimin. Once you Jim in, you don't Jim out. I understand why people love Jimin. But sorry, y'all know Sugar's my bias. So sorry, Sugar's my bias. As I miss Sugar a lot and wonder is he gonna be there during the reunion for Festa? I don't know. I'm just gonna keep hope alive. You watched that video, did you? my bias breakers junk. Jungkook is my bias breaker. Like Jungkook could be like doing, but I don't know J Hope. I don't know. J Hope is up. Did you hear about J Hope? Yes, his new collaboration with Glorilla. Yeah, J.K. Ty. Hello, Anais Torres. Hello. You going to the reunion concert? Oh my God! Like I'm gonna order it whenever they put it on sale so I can watch it live. See if I can watch it live on YouTube, but I don't know. YouTube be tripping y'all. Hobie's been your bias wrecker. Hobie is my bias wrecker now. Oh, okay. I see. I learned a new skill the other day. But anyway, I'm trying to learn my new editing skills, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all. But like I said, if you guys don't subscribe to my channel. We always have fun on the live streams, y'all. Like we always crack up and cut up, and I end up saying inappropriate things during my live streams. So y'all do have to apologize. I do go off on my live streams because that's just my personality. Sugar's your bias record, but it's always Jen for you. Sugar's your bias record. Is Jen and V rumors are real? I do believe they were real. I was looking at that just the other day. Now the YG leaker thing, I don't believe that is real, but I do believe that V and Jennie. I've said it before that I believe that they've dated. I've heard that they've dated. I've heard from people in Korea that they were dating, and I think that they were trying to come out and go public slowly. In 2021, I think they were trying to go public, but I think that they broke up and something happened and they broke up and it horribly backfired for them. You just subscribed. Thank you, Kenley. I appreciate it. Soy de Chile por eso. I don't speak Spanish. Worldwide handsome. Jen is the type of dude that I like, but Jen is not really my type. Like he's not my type, like personality. He's a little bit too outgoing. Like J-Hope, I find J-Hope very charming, very like now he's very good looking. But his personality is just not my type. His personality is too outgoing. I don't like my men that outgoing. I don't like my men that outgoing and happy. I like my men a little bit more dark and mysterious and kind of like broody. So he's like aesthetically handsome, but it's just not my idea of handsome. I like Sugar. I have a type. It's just, like every guy of every K-pop group, they all look like Sugar. I was like, "Ooh, I like him." They're like, "Oh, he looks like Sugar." I was like, "Ooh, I like her. She looks like Sugar." It's like, "Oh, okay." There's a female group called Kiki. Not me, but Kiki, like Kii, and there's a girl that plays the flute with short hair, and then I was like, "Oh, she's so cute," and then somebody was like, "She looked like a female version of Sugar," and I'm like, oh, damn it, you. I was like, oops, she do. Oh, oops. I was like, because I like 21, I'm a big CL lover. And people used to say that CL and Sugar were brother and sister. And I didn't know that. But was like, I love CL. CL's so cute. And people like, people did say that CL and Sugar look alike. And I looked at the pictures and I'm like, they do look alike. They're like, you do have a type. I was like, yeah, I guess I do have a type. Cause CL and Sugar look just alike. Like they look like they could be twins. Like they look alike for real. You've been Army for 8 years. My Army anniversary is August the 6th. I'm claiming August the 6th, the day that Sugar got on his scooter and caused me to go off on the internet. August 6th is my Army 1 year Army anniversary date. I've only been Army since August 6th of 2024. I would consider myself that's my Army day. Um, the day he was on the scooter is my army day. Pardon is I don't speak Spanish, Anais. I don't speak Spanish, baby. I don't. Woozy and Sugar. Oh my God, I saw Woozy the 17 like Woozy, and I forgot the other one because I don't know 17. But they have a new album out and it's on the Korean charts. And I don't think Woozy them look like Woozy and Sugar look like. I think yeah, people say they do, but I just don't see it. I Woozy does not look like Sugar. Thank you. Justice for Sugar. I'm ready for Sugar to come out, and we're gonna come out swinging. Oh, is it Hoshi to him? Yes, they the one that have a album out or some songs out, and it's pretty high on the charts. Like out of all the 17, they're pretty up there. It's Hoshi and was I don't know 17. I don't know. Yeah, they have two songs out there. They have like one of them is like 96 because I think that's the year that they were born, and some other things, and that's okay. Anais. Oh, it's a unit LP. She said, "No, I don't think they look. I don't think they look alike at all. The eyes, maybe yes, but to me, Sugar's much more handsomer than Woozy. Woozy is not cute to me. I mean, I look. I'm not a 17 lover. I don't barely know anything about 17, but I just don't see. I would because like we watched Woozy the other, like we watched the 17th to 10th year anniversary thing, and I'm just like, I'm just like that. I was always like. Like he's not as cute as Sugar. Sugar's handsome. Sugar's a really handsome guy, in my opinion. He's a true visual BTS, in my opinion. I think V is a really handsome guy, but V is just like he's just not my vibe. Sugar all the way. And V is just not my vibe. Like I understand V is like anime handsome. Like V is like I keep telling people. I said it before. Like when I die and if there's a heaven, I want all the angels to look like V. Like in just different hair colors. Like here's an angel with long hair. He's an angel with, and I want them all look like V. V looks very like anime manga. Like he just stepped out of the pages of some sort of anime book. Like V to me is very handsome guy, and I can see why people like, go crazy over him because he's a very good looking guy. But again, it's not just about looks. It's attitude. V is just way too like like too up in the clouds for me to just deal with it. I'm not in. I'm just like not for me. I like my men a little bit more harder, a little quieter. I like my rap guys. Like I like RM and I like Sugar. Like I like my dudes a little bit cool. They got a little swagger to them. Like that's what I like. Hello. He looks like a handsome anime villain. V does look like a handsome anime villain. Very, very handsome. Like I can see why girl and Jimin, I can see why y'all like them because they look like cartoon characters to me. She said I'll be going off of people saying hype and paved the way. And hyping and paved the way for what? I like in hyping. I saw in hyping in concert and their tour was really good. The style, the English lyrics, and they said in hyping and hyping. However, I went to go see them in concert, and they were really good. Even though I only know one song by in hyping, like the whole entire time I was just sitting there like I was just sitting in the hyping concert. I was just like, yep, yeah, yep. And then when they was like, you and me in this world, come kiss me and bite me. That's why I was like, because that's the only song I know by them. And so when you go to a K-pop concert and you only know one song, and then you're like, oh my God. Like I could sing, I couldn't sing along with nothing. But I could sing along with Bite Me. That's it. But they have a song, and Hypen's best song to me is, besides Bite Me song, is Fever. Is Fever. Like I will fight anybody over Fever. Fever is a good song. Nothing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna listen to that tonight. One of my favorite people in K-pop is in Hypen, which is what's his name? Sunu. I like him. I really like him. He's sassy. I like him. Bite Me had me going. Like I was the whole entire concert. I'm like, oh, this is nice. Oh, okay, girl. Because in hyping music is really not really my kind of music. But when they hit Bite Me, Because Bite Me is more like R&B flavored. And then Fever is more like, babe, Fever was my ringtone for about 6 months. Yeah, him. Sonu. I like him. Oh my God. I sat there and watched like 3 hours of videos with him in it. I like him. I was like, I see you. I see you. Like a fever, 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 fever. Like the whole dance, the whole music video. Baby, I was like, who did this song? Whoever did Bite Me and Fever, they them songs is stellar. Like to me, Fever was like a BTS song without BTS. Like like it sounded like more like a R&B kind of song, and that's what I like. It sounded more like an ATEEZ song. I'm going back and seeing ATEEZ in concert again in August. I saw ATEEZ last year, and they're coming back to Arlington. They're coming back to Texas, and so I'm going to go see them. You like TXT more than hyping? I like TXT a lot more than hyping. What's your love language? Like I love those Latin beats and I'm telling you, one of my favorite songs in K-pop is TXT. I tell y'all, I wouldn't be a K-pop fan, and I would have never became ARMY if it wasn't for TXT. Unless I would have went to that K-pop concert 2022. I hated K-pop. I thought K-pop was stupid. And then TXT came out there, and then they hit Can't You See Me? And I was like, bitch, what? Can't you see me? I was like, uh-oh. I was like, hey, hey. I was like, what is this? I was like, can't you see me? I was like, uh-oh, uh-oh. I'm telling you, TXT concert, I started out like this, like, oh, this is nice. Then they hit that, feeling like a cat. I'm a dog. I love that song. The cat and dog song. Boy, I'm telling you. I was like, okay. And then they did Can't You See Me? Baby. By the time they was like, I'm not the devil in the window, I was like, Moa! Moa! I was a Moa. I was like, Moa! They were like, Moas. I'm like, ah! Ah! My sister-in-law looking at me like this. Bitch, what? She was looking at me like that, like, what's wrong with you? Yes, cry. Baby, when by the time they got the devil in the window, I was like, devil in the window. I was obsessed with TXT for about 4 months. Like I had every ringtone was TXT. I looked up every song, every video. I was like, who is this TXT? I can see you coming back for more. Baby! When they did coming back for more, I was like, I'm just a good girl. And I didn't know that RM wrote, what's the song? I'm a loser. I'm a lover. I was like, wow, just a good girl, man. My kids hated me. My kids is like, what is my kids is like, what are we listening to in the car? What is Mama, what's this? Like I was singing so hard. My kids is like, what is happening? Why are you listening to this? They like, what is this, Mama? Is this? I say it's K-pop. They're like, it's K-pop. They're like, I'm like, yeah, the concert Mandy and Jennifer went to. They like, K-pop mom. And so that's how my kids are stuck. This is my kid's face. K-pop mom. They think it's so weird. They're like, our mom likes K-pop. It's weird. They're like, it's weird. Just ignore her. Then like you come in my room, you see all the BTS stuff. They're like, their little friends are like, oh, what's this? What did you miss? Nothing. Not much. She's about bless her heart. I gotta breathe. I'm saying my kids are like, I say their friends come over, like my daughter's little friends come over, they look around, they like, what's this in here? They're like, and my daughter's like, my mama like K-pop. She like K-pop. Oh my God, like I just can't. You should come down to South Carolina. This where you at? We have K-pop events where all K-pop fans gather up. I wish we had those kind of events here. There's many ages 50 to 13. I need to try to find a K-pop group here, but I don't know. I'm not a very sociable person. Like I'm very introverted and shy, so I don't do well. I did go to a K-pop event, but I have to do a video and post the pictures. Oh, you're using a translator to speak English. Oh, there you are. Oh, you talking about she over here dying. My kids are like, they like our mama. She old, but she like it. And then like none of my kids like to go to my bathroom. You know, my kids walk. My daughter walked to my bathroom. She's like, Mama, I need you to use your bathroom. Jonathan's in my son. Jonathan's in the bathroom. She walk in the bathroom and she like, oh God, Mama. Here's my daughter. Just you know what? Just. That's what my daughter do. My daughter to use the bathroom. She like, Mama, they staring at me. They staring at the mama. Why they staring, Mama? They staring. I don't like your bathroom. They stare like that. How do you use the bathroom? How do you get undressed in here? When these seven men up here staring at you. I was like, well, honey, it's just a shower curtain. I don't want to look at that. Mama. My daughter be so serious. She be like, I don't want to look at that. So my daughter will push the shower curtain up here because she do not want to watch. She does not. She's like, BTS gonna watch me pee. Like I don't understand it. I'm trying to use the bathroom. I'm just a kid. So to her, it's creepy and weird. The BTS like will watch it, and like the shower curtain is strange. Like I'm saying, my daughter's like, I don't want to see that. She like, how you get in the shower and these people stand? My daughter like this is, and so in my room, okay. So I'm gonna show y'all something. So this is my shower curtain. Okay, y'all, shower curtain. So if you come over here, I'm just gonna show y'all something. So sometimes I'm sitting here, right? I'm sitting here. Where my remote at? Oh, anyway, I have my Netflix remote. I'll be watching TV. And then like if I leave my door open, like sometimes I look over and I'm like, what? I'll look over in my bathroom and I'm like, JK, get the fuck out of here! JK, like if I sit from here, it looks like JK is staring at you. Like if you pan the camera to the bathroom, you can see it looks like JK is staring at you. So, so if you laying in bed and you just trying to relax and live your best life, and you over here, I'm in bed, I'm relaxing. You know, I get out the shower, I got my towel on, and then I look over and I'm like, okay, JK. And then I look over and I'm like, why are you staring at me, JK? Oh, bye, Kenley. You have a good day. Thank you for being here, honey. I appreciate it. And so it is very creepy. My kids will come in my room and they'll look over and they'll just close the door. They like, Mama, I can't. They like, Mama, they like, just close the door. Just close the door. It's like, JK, why do you keep staring? I'm over here in my towel I'm getting out the shower and I'm trying to put my lotion on and I'm like, they're like, it's just, okay, Jake. I'm finna get undressed. I'm like, no. So I have to close the door. I have to close the door, y'all, because JK is a whole ass stalker. JK is the stalker that is in my life right now. It's the stalker that everybody, I don't mind, him taking a peek and stalking, but it gets a little weird when my daughter comes in here and she's just like, does the shower curtain always have to stare? Mama, why is it staring? I'm like, and then my daughter be like, no matter where you move, it's still following you. And like, no matter where you move, it looks like his eyes are following you. So you can stand from one side to the next. And she like, well, this is weird. So like my kids think my shower curtain is the creepy shower curtain. So they're like, you and your creepy shower curtain, Mama. Like, I don't understand, Mama. Your shower curtain is just creepy. It's just creepy. So my kids think my shower curtain, everybody, is extra creepy. To them, it's weird. So they like, Mama, why is it so weird? I was like, you know what, kids, just go with it. Um, Oh, my daughter, my yeah. If you hear my daughter talk, you be like, yeah, because that's the way she talks. Like, mama, or or my daughter knock on my door and she be like, mom, what are you doing? And she'll walk in, mom, what you doing? What you doing? And she look at my TV and be like, are you watching BTS again? Oh my God. Like, what is this? Nobody wants to watch K-pop, ma. Like, that's my daughter. Ma. I don't want to watch it, ma. I was like, how you gonna cut? She came to my room the other day and she's like, I'm watching BTS and she grabs my remote and she's like, I don't want to watch this. And I was like, okay, but you in my room. So, but yeah, but I don't want to watch this. I came in here to visit. I don't want to watch this. Ma, this is stupid. Can we watch something else? I was like, I do it like all the time. My kids hate K-pop. My son is very indifferent. He's just kind of like, this is serious. He'll just walk off and be like, nah. But my daughter really, she'd be like, mom, this again. Or my daughter will sometimes sit and watch K-pop and then she'll make fun of the videos. Like she'll make fun of the K-pop singers. Or my daughter be like, which one is that? Or she calls Sugar fat all the time. She's like, Sugar's fat. He's fat. That's her thing. Sugar is so fat. Why is he fatter than the other ones? Like that's my daughter. She calls Sugar fat and she knows it just gets under my skin. I was like, Sugar's not fat. She's like, he's fat. She does all the time. He's fat. He looks a little thicker than the others. I was like, Sugar's not fat. Yeah, Sugar's not fat. She's like, he's fat. He's fat. I said, he real skinny here. He's fat. Oh, he's fat. I just, he's, because they know it annoys me. They know it annoys me. They know. They know how much it annoys me. Yeah, Sugar's not fat at all. And I told her, I said, she's like, well, he just looks a little chubbier than the other ones. And I was like, well, sometimes, but he's definitely not fat. Like when I went to go see ATs in person, like if you see how thin these K-pop singers are, they are so thin in person. Like over the camera adds pounds. Yeah, she loves teasing me. She loves it. She loves getting a rise out of me because she knows. But with K-pop singers, if you see them in person, they are so thin. Like when the first time I saw ATs, because when I went to go see TXT, we were way back in the back, like the nosebleed section. We were way up there. So, and then in Hyping, I think we were like in row 20. But when I went to go see ATs, we were like in the fifth row, right? And to see them in the fifth row, to see how thin they were, like it was shocking how thin they were, like how skinny they were. Like I've never been that close to a K-pop singer, but to be in the fifth row and see how thin they were was quite jarring. Because I was like, God, they're really really thin, really really skinny guys. And so anytime someone talks about somebody being fat in K-pop, it's just laughable because really they're skinnier than like the normal sized person or they're the same as a regular sized person, but then compared to their group mates who are really really stick thin, then it's kind of it's hard it's hard to be compared to that. When everybody in your group is 5'10" and 151 pounds, and then here you are like 160 pounds, which is normal. Like you're 155 and everybody else is 145 and you're like, wait a minute, but I'm normal. It's normal, you know. Sugar is super handsome. Hi, Kim. No, not rude at all. Sugar is super handsome. Sugar's my bias. But my daughter's like, he's a little fat. I was like, Sugar does have his moments where he's a little thick, but I like when Sugar's like a healthy weight. Um, those early videos when Sugar was young and he was really, 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 really thin. I just cringe sometimes. Like when they first started, Sugar was really, really, really skinny, and then like around 2019, you could see where he like dropped a whole bunch of weight. Like he was back to how he was in like 2014, 15. I thought that was unhealthy. I didn't think that. I don't think Sugar being stick thin is cute. I don't think any of them being like stick thin looks good. I think it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy to see them. I like the way V and Jungkook are now. And J Hope. Y'all see the pictures? Y'all see. Y'all see V up there? V was like, "You motherfucker, you just, bitch." Y'all see that? Y'all see John Cook? And John Cook was like, so yeah, they talk about Sugar look like a oily steamed dumpling. They talk about his mama talking about he looked like an oily steamed bun. I was like, his mama, Sugar mama ain't right. I said, your mama ain't right. He goes, but your mama tell you some shit like that. Your mama ain't right. Yeah, but yeah, you see V and John Cook, they were like, I was like, V, I was like, okay. I was like, oh, they in the gym. They fit. They fit, y'all. Yeah, they fit. They fit. V got a cute waist, but he has like the muscles and the neck. He has the muscles in the chest, the chesticles. But his waist is real small. I mean, I don't know how that works out, but he got a cute little waist, and then he got like muscles, and then JK is always Mr. Fitness, so he's always like but want to work out. Um, and then J Hope has always been very thin though. J Hope got the washboard abs, and I'm over here trying to wash my shirt. I'm over here talking about, come on, J Hope, come on. Oh, J Hope, I got a shirt. I just let me do this, J Hope. Like, come on, J Hope, come on, come on. I just okay, get the soap, and we just gonna do this on your abs. Just child, J Hope, them abs was abbing, honey. I was like, I need to do some laundry on them abs. Lord have mercy. Like, they were washboard abs. You just like the way the pictures, the concept photos that were done, and like the lighting and the black and white, it was just very good like, as somebody who's visual, the concept photos were amazing. For somebody I'm a very visual person. So that was yeah, I can't wait to see what Jimin looks like. Like, Jimin been trying to hide. I want to see what Jimin looks like. I know that like starting like last month, they started to all like diet and started to get back in shape. I don't care what shape Sugar is. My daughter's like, man, what if Sugar comes back and he's fat? My daughter said, Sugar's gonna come back and he's gonna have short hair and he's fat. I was like, I don't care if Sugar get in his fat Oprah era. Sugar, fat Oprah era. Like, if Sugar decide to come out and just have yes, she did. If I could get my daughter on camera, y'all be rolling. The way she be talking, she like, he fat. What if he comes out and he's fat? I said, the last time we saw Sugar was August of last year, and Sugar was not fat. He was very handsome. I like his short hair. I think his short hair fit his face. I think he looked cute with his little short hair. And she's like, well, if he comes out, he's fat. I was like, I don't care if Sugar gains 100 pounds. I don't care if he's going through his fat old Oprah stage. Let Sugar be a fat. I'll still be like, hey, it's my bias. You want to see the boiled dumpling, Sugar? I want to see him chubby and oily and sweaty. Like, I don't care if Sugar's fat or not. Is he can come? Is he rapping? And Sugar's gonna come out and grab the mic and drop some bars and eat the stage up and drop his mic and run off the stage. If I don't care how old and fat Sugar gets, as long as he can get on stage and tear it up and drop some bars, that's my level of that's my standard. My standard is, if you getting on stage and tearing bars up, all right. Yeah, I got a sweatshirt that says "Yoongi marry me." That's what I got for my sweatshirt in there. It says "Yoongi marry me." My kids hate it. I have a Sugar T-shirt. I have BTS T-shirts, and my kids are like, "Ma, do we have to wear that?" Oh my God! I get my Bangtan T-shirt. They like, I got a Sugar baseball jersey. They're like, "Ma," my daughter's like, "You have to wear that." Yeah, I do, honey. I'm BTS Army. You have to wear that. And I told my kids, I said, y'all must just get used to it because when BTS comes back from the military and they drop an album, I say, y'all better enjoy it where you can because it's gonna be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, bang tong BTS, sugar, 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 all day. I say this is the time that they can take a break, have a good summer, because I'm telling you, when my birthday come, it is y'all. I told my kids, y'all ain't gonna know how to even reason with me. I'm gonna be insufferable. When my birthday come, I'm planning to get a sugar welcome back cake. I'm gonna get a BTS cake and everything, and it's gonna be purple and black, and it's gonna have sugar all over it. I say because sugar gets out on my birthday, and I said when my birthday comes, y'all are gonna hate me. When BTS gets reunited, I just warn my kids, y'all gonna find me insufferable. Y'all they ain't gonna know what to do. They just gonna be like. Because it's going to be BTS. If they think it's bad now, just wait till they reunite. It's going to be like, they going to be like, man, what? What do you want? What? What is happening? Like, it's just going to be BTS 24/7, 7 days a week, all day, every day, all day, every day. Like, they will get no break. Like, now I do watch other things besides K-pop, but I told them, I said, y'all just get ready because when BTS reunites, it's going to be frightening. It's good. I don't know how I'm going to react to all of that. Yes, this is the silence before the storm. So I was like, y'all better enjoy it. Your sister has a V-shirt. She's a Taeyong fan. Yeah, the BTS storm is coming, honey, and it's coming hard. Oh my God, it is going to be like my kids is gonna be hating it. They're gonna be like, oh my God, BTS. All they're gonna be is like, why? Why? Because they ask why all the time. They're like, I don't understand why mom likes BTS, and I don't understand. And then when I go see that Jin concert in July, they really gonna be like, ma, ma, why? My daughter, ma, my daughter, ma, why? She go, ma. She's such a hater. But then she's the one that bought me this ring though. She bought me my BCS ring for Christmas. My daughter bought me that. See, and then like I have BTS bracelet. I have BTS ring. I got a sugar bracelet. My daughter, she's like, I hate it, but here you go. she'll make like let me show y'all something my daughter made for me. Look, 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 look. Look, this my daughter made for me. Hold on, y'all. Y'all see it? It's for Mother's Day. See that right there? So my daughter talk about BTS. Well, she made this for me on Mother's Day. Like, I was like, really, honey? Really? Really? Oh. Like she knows what I like. Yeah, like she like, God, I hate BTS. Okay, mom, I'm gonna get you this. God, like my whole family's like, I hate BTS, but here's my here's your light stick. Happy Christmas, mom. Happy Mother's Day. While they begrudging, it's my daughter. Ma, ma, man, why do you like BTS? Man, I don't understand it, man. That's that's an interpretation of how the conversation goes. My daughter, man, I don't understand it, man. Oh, my daughter's laughing. She back there cracking up. Y'all talking about don't laugh because you know I'm talking about it. Hi, Mickey. Uh-oh. Donna. Donna. Wait a minute, y'all. Dun 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 dun. Mickey! Mickey! She said, oh no, it's Mickey. Mickey the Menace. Mickey would come in here in my room and start tearing some stuff up, and then I said, Mickey, he said, meow. He had my door, he pushed my door open like, what you doing in here, Ma? Like, well, yeah, my kids are in there cutting up, like they over there laughing. It's it's summer break, but yeah, that's my daughter, y'all. Ma, ma, ma. I hate BTS. Oh my god, ma. My daughter. Oh my god, ma. My cat. He said, ma. Mickey, Mickey, Mickey. Come on, Mickey. Oh Lord, he wants some food. I ain't gonna give him my food anyway. But I appreciate everybody for being here. It's time for me to see what my kids are here laughing and cutting up about. And my cat is meowing because apparently he wants me to feed him again for the third or fourth or fifth time because he's going through some growing pains. Um, I will be going on vacation from June the 8th, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 through the 13th. I will be going on vacation. I will be vlogging from this resort. Me and my kids are going to a resort. So I will be blogging from the resort. So, and then I will be going to Stray Kids on the 6th of June. I will be going to BB on June the 19th. I will be going to Jen on July 22nd. I will be going to see the Rose on August the 3rd and ATEEZ, I think, at the end of August. I think those are all the concerts and things that I'm going to. You think you so nasty you catch your breath and go Black Swan it out? Go Black Swan. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I appreciate JK, Moonlight Goth, Marsha, Anais, KK, K-Pop Home, all you people. Everybody else is standing here and lurked and watch us chop it up because we always try to have fun on these live streams. I don't be doing it too seriously. In Hyping, yes, I went to an In Hyping concert in 2023. I talked about how I only knew one song, and that was Bite Me. And then I think in Hyping, I think we were like in the 11th or 12th row, I think. And it was in Dallas at the American Airlines Center, and it's a lot of fun. And so, hi, Sayadova. Hello. And I appreciate everybody being here. If you have missed any part of my live stream, you can always go and rewind and rewatch. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I post videos literally every day. I'm working on videos as much as I can. I am actually working this weekend. I normally don't work on weekends. I work from home, but I have had something come up to where I am probably going to be working this weekend. But I'm trying to. I have several videos that I'm working on. So, but I do try to do posts. I'm either posting a short or a live stream or a long form video. I'm posting something nearly every day. So, you are from Azerbaijani. You have to go to university. Okay, bye, JK. Azerbaijani. Is that like near like Pakistan or near that area? Or is it near like Russia? Is it like over in that area? Near Pakistan. See? I'm very international. Never been there, but I know people who actually live in Pakistan. I know people who live in Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, China, South Korea, Japan, of course, Canada, of course, America, where I'm at. I know people that live all over, but I appreciate all my international people who get on here and come and say hi and chop it up. Most of my subscribers are international, believe it or not. So I appreciate everybody, but you guys have a good day or a good night it's nighttime here. Are you excited for Hypen's new comeback in 5 days? Is it? Yes, I saw Desire. I saw the whole like little mini video. It was so cool. That video, because I didn't know that Hypen was supposed to be vampires because I'm not fan of them. So I didn't know they're supposed to be vampires. But then I read online and they were like, oh, they're supposed to be vampires. I was like, this is so great. So they did, if you don't know, Hypen did like a whole like little concept, like mini movie. And I think it was like, it seemed too short to me. Like I was watching it and I think it was like 10 minutes. And I was watching it. I was here for it. Like it was like a K-drama. I was like, oh, what's happening next? Oh, what's happening next? So every time Hypen comes out with some sort of concept movie or something for this Desire album, it has been phenomenal. Like I normally don't be falling for the concept stuff, and a lot of times it just be real dry and basic. But Hypen had like a whole storyline. Like it's very like the kind of stuff that I like, the magical, the mystical, the mysterious. I like that kind of stuff. Like I like a nice storyline. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like a like y'all know me. Your girl loves theater. I like a nice storyline. They had the vampire concept since debut. Oh yeah, you're saying that they have a whole lore. Yeah, I found out that I didn't even know. I went to their concert and I was like, okay, well that makes sense. They did Bite Me, and then they did Fever, and I was like, okay, well that makes sense. I didn't know. I need to go look up more and hype and lore because y'all know your girl like a good lore. I love a good lore. I love the BTS, the HYYH thing. Like I fell down an HYYH rabbit hole about 3 weeks ago, and I went up and looked at these videos and then watched videos of people dissecting the videos and what this video meant and what this moment meant. Like I went down the whole HYYH rabbit hole, y'all. Like with BTS, like I'm still going down that. I'm still like watching stuff, going, okay, what? Let me go back and watch this video. Like I love a good storyline and a good lore, and Hive does a really good job at that. Like they do a good job with concepts and lore. Yeah, it rolls deep. Like, yeah, I like the deep. I like when channels, YouTube channels, get real deep into the BTS lore and the stuff like that. I love stuff like, and then Hyping did a really good job. But I gotta go, y'all. I gotta take a shower. I gotta take a shower. My shower curtain. Oh my God. Is the issue true? Are we talking about the Jenny IU thing? I said the Jenny IU thing, I was saying that there's no evidence that anything has happened. Like I have not seen anything behind the scenes. I have not heard the rumors that these people were saying in this podcast. I'm come on record and say I have not heard. I even asked around in Korea, and I've heard this about other K-pop singers, but I have never heard anything about IU and Jenny. So I'm gonna keep asking y'all. Cause I'm like asking people in Korea, have y'all heard anything about this? Cause this is where it all starts in Korea. And the Korean people I know, they're like, nah, we ain't heard nothing about Jenny doing nothing like that or IU, especially IU. Like IU, I'm like, leave IU alone. IU, she seems very like a very, from what I heard, a very nice professional person. And so the IU thing, I really couldn't believe. Now Jenny, I almost willing to believe it, but the IU thing, I find that very. But again, I don't put anything past anybody in K-pop. It has happened to other K-pop singers, is what I've heard, that they do have offered up dates and performances and things for money or rich businessman. I have heard that, and that's not a secret in the business. You can look up videos about former K-pop stars that did turn to solicitation um, after they lost their careers. Either their group got disbanded or they got kicked out of the group and they needed money and they didn't have no education. And so men started to contact them and offer them to perform in clubs and shows and private parties. And that's how it usually starts. And then it kind of branches off into um, sexual favors. That's how I heard that how it starts. But again, IU and Jenny, they I don't ever see them being hard up or hurting for money. They work for big companies. They're represented by huge companies. Jenny would I can't see her doing much of anything for money with YG. Not saying that they're making a lot of money in the beginning because they're not, but I just can't see Jenny doing something like that on her own, not unless YG asked her to. That's possible, but I don't know. We don't know anything without evidence. People can make up and say anything they want to say about any K-pop star for any reason, but I have to give people side eyes because you don't know the reason why they're saying this. Because it could be jealousy. There's a lot of jealousy in K-pop, y'all. So people make up stuff all the time about idols and about people and put things out there because either they don't like them or they've had interactions with this person. So it's just give out everything I hear about K-pop. I take it with a side eye and a grain of salt, and I start asking around. And there are some things I can confirm that are true. There are some things that I have not spoke on that people has lit up other channels that y'all notice that I don't say anything because there are some things that I feel like there is truth to it. But so far I haven't heard anything about. But I have heard about other K-pop singers doing stuff like that. But I won't say who. But it happens there's a dirty element to K-pop. There's an underbelly. There's a bad element, and like I said before, where did they get it from? They got it from America. They got it from here. They learned all of this crazy shit here. How to manipulate people, the slave contracts, the misogyny, the sexism, the sexualization of minor. All of this stuff is learned here. It's not anything. It's not like anything Korea just invented. If you want to talk about K-pop singers offering up dates and favors and things, that happens here. It happens here back in the past. It happens here now. And so Korea ain't doing nothing that the American industry has not perfected, whether it be good or bad. Korea put their own spin on it, but for the most part, like I said, if I'm not surprised about anything, because the Burning Sun thing didn't really surprise me because I've talked about Burning Sun before. It didn't surprise me because in the American music industry, they picked stuff. People have done stuff like this here back in the day, not recently that I know of, but back in the day. So Korea industry, they have picked up a lot of things that, like I said, one day somebody is going, and I've said it before in my live stream, and I'll leave it at this. I've said before that one day somebody is really going to expose the industry, and you guys are going to be shocked. I don't know who it's going to be, but somebody who is going to be untouchable, because you can't come out and say stuff like this and be real, because then people will try to end your career. So somebody's going to get to the point in their career where they either don't care, or if they've married money, or they've made enough money, or they are untouchable, or they have moved abroad and doesn't don't have to be beholden to the Korean media or the people in the Korean industry. Somebody's going to come on in with an expose, and they may do it anonymously, but then they may get out there. But I think somebody's going to write that book, and they're going to expose the K-pop industry, and it's going to be somebody that's going to be big. It's going to be somebody that where everybody's going to believe them, and it's not going to be like somebody in a failed group or some failed producer. It's going to be somebody who was in the industry, who is very popular, who's probably moved abroad, and to where they're not touchable anymore, where their money is safe, their businesses are safe, where nobody can like threaten them behind the scenes. Because that's what happens a lot of times. There are people that want to expose the business, but they've been threatened. That like they tell them like you'll never work in this business again. Like you can't be going out there dropping dimes on the K industry, because you'll lose your livelihood. Like you have people coming out the woodwork trying to blackmail you and talk bad about you. The moment somebody comes out on the industry, you will see all kinds of hijinks and shenanigans, and people will be behind the scenes, low key threatened and blackmailed and everything like that. But it just takes that one person that's gonna be untouchable beyond that. And they, like I said, I think this person's gonna have to be living abroad, and they're gonna come and say, "I'm fixing to write this book right now," and they're gonna expose the industry. And when they expose the industry, it's just gonna make the industry better. And I don't know who's going to be brave enough to do it, but I want somebody to do it. I really want that person, even if they do it anonymously, to expose the industry for what it is. Because there are a lot of shit that goes on in the industry that you would be like, what? What? They're doing what now? Like, who? I would say that the K industry is almost run like a mafia. Like, it's almost a mafia esque kind of thing, and everybody's scared because it's their livelihoods is tied to it. So nobody really says anything because their money, and they have families to support. People have family, have parents and brothers and sisters and themselves to support. And once you get blacklisted and blackballed in the business, just ask TOP. Once you get blackballed in the business and blacklisted in the business, it's a long time. Look at poor TOP. He didn't even do nothing to nobody. He did something to himself. He wasn't trying to drop dimes on the industry. Poor TLP had a marijuana charge, and they crucified him forever. And he's still, to this day, people talking bad about him. Even though he's in Squid Game and all that, people still talking bad about him. So the industry is ruthless. Like, people will blackball you forever. And if this is the only option you have is to be in the K industry, you don't want to say anything. But again, I think that there's going to be that one person, one or two people who are going to be above the industry, and they're going to just tell everything. They're just going to come out and be like, enough is enough, and they're just going to tell you about the contracts. They're going to tell you about everything, and they're just going to write a book, and they're just going to let it all out. And the fans are really going to see what is really happening in the industry. And when that day happens, I will breathe a sigh of relief, because just like in America, all these stars and former stars started coming out with books, and these investigative writers started to come out with books to expose the music and the movie industry, and it changed it for the better. Now there's more protections for young people, because all the child stars were writing books about how they were mercilessly treated. These kid stars were starting 3, 4, 5 years old and working 10, 12 hours a day and locked in closets and abused. Like they started telling their stories and they got the laws changed. And then, people in the industry were talking about the casting couch and what women had to do and how these women were, I mean, treated horribly, these young actresses. And they came and told their stories. And so things started to change in the music and the movie industry because people exposed it. And they forced people and states to write laws to protect children. That children can't work certain times and they can't do certain things at certain times and they can't be worked 10, 12. They don't have these things in Korea right now. So the kids keep debuting younger and younger. My next live stream, I'm gonna talk about YG and the new 4-member YG girl group. And they released the footage of one of them, and she's 15 years old. And I was like, "Child, what? That's a little too. That's a little bit too much for me, baby. A 15-year old. Okay, So we'll see. I'll talk about that about Adore and Hive and YG in my next live stream. But I want somebody to come out here and expose the industry and stop the industry from being run like a mafia, where people are basically held hostage and you can't really say anything because you ruin your whole career. And then you got to work in this business and work with people, and then your friends will turn their backs on you, and your family will turn your backs on you if you try to, disrupt the business, and everybody's going to blackball you, and then you're going to be stuck with no friends and no family and nobody to talk to. That's something that somebody, but it's going to take somebody who's above it. It's going to take somebody who is like, I've made enough money. I'm internationally famous, and I don't care about the Korean industry, and I made my money, and I'm old and I'm retired and I have businesses and I have enough money to say whatever I want to say, and I'm untouchable. So I don't know who that person's gonna be. Some people have said that the BTS member is gonna do it one of these days. I would love to see a BTS member just come out here and expose the industry when they get older, when they 45, 50 years old. I'd love for them to show up and be like, I'm finna break this open. Because I'm sure they've seen a lot. For them to be in the business this long and in the future, they've seen a lot. But I want somebody to come forward who's not worried about their money being affected and ruining their career. That they're to the point where they're retired and they have no career. I have no career. I'm out here doing my thing. I'm older. I got kids. I'm married. I have as much money as I ever want to, and I'm finna expose this business for the better, not to just sell books and not, but for the better. And once that happens, and once other people feel that they're not hiding in fear anymore, then other people will slowly but surely start to come forward as well. And then the fans are just going to have to get over it because it's going to put a lot of their favorites in a bad light. It's going to expose things and put light on a lot of people that they like, a lot of companies that they like, a lot of groups that they like. And somebody's just going to drop the dimes on everybody. Somebody's going to be like, this person over here in this group, they ain't shit. This person over here, he ain't nothing. She ain't nothing. This person is evil. This person's a misogynist. This person is abusive. Like, they just going to come out and start dropping dimes on everybody. And like I said, the fans are not going to like it. The people in the industry are not going to like it. But it's going to push the business to be better and have more protections for young people and have more protections for these artists. And artists won't be stuck in these 7-year evil contracts where they're not making a lot of money in the beginning. They all blackmail each other because they all have or can't get dirt on each other. Yeah, they all have dirt on each other. And like I said, there's a lot of there's a lot of tea to be spilled in the K industry. There's a lot of tea to be spilled. There's a lot of dirt to be spilled. There's a lot of it's a lot of bad. Like I said, when people talk about the music industry and the movie industry, and people talk about the things that Diddy did, I've said it over and over again. I said, y'all don't think there ain't no Diddy's in K-pop? There are. There are. I said, y'all think that there's no executive out there having sex parties? There are. I said, anytime you have men, you have young, beautiful women, you have power, you have money, and you have sex. It's just inevitable. It's inevitable. And I'm not trying to drag men through the mud, but I then again I can't. I kind of am, because anytime you get powerful men in powerful positions, they use and warp and twist that power. Anytime you have rich, powerful men in any kind of position, it always gets messed up. They ruin it for everybody, and that's just the truth. Like, powerful, rich men have a propensity to get with women who go along, who they marry women who go along with this type of thing, and they do things that powerful men want to do. And as more money they make, like Epstein, and more money he made, the more warped and twisted. I read the Epstein book, and the more money he made, the more warped and twisted he became. And it just seems like all these rich men are all like sick. Like all of them are like, well, I can do anything I want to do. And instead of trying to fix the planet or help people or help the poor, it's the total opposite. They live in excess. They want to have islands and parties and young women around them and drugs and sex and alcohol and partying. And, that's what, for some reason, men go, that's their go to for rich and powerful men. I've been in the rooms with these people, and these people are warped and twisted, really messed up people. And it's like they figure like if they have enough money, they can do whatever they want to do and get away with it. Instead of being like, I have all this money. Okay, now how can I help my family, my fellow man? How can I help society? No, they don't think in those like ideas of charity and helping people. No, it just becomes, I got all this money, so what 20-year-old woman can I get? How many 20-year-old girls can I sleep with? How many starlets can I sleep with? How many K-pop singers can I get with? Like, it's because it becomes that. It's not like, well, you got all this money, you can do anything you want, you can go anywhere you want to go, you can help anybody you want to help. No, not that. How much money I have, how much power and control, and how much can I manipulate, and how much more money I can make. So it's never like a sense of like I want to, like, money corrupts people in such horrible ways. And in K-pop, it's because K-pop is so insular. If it's a business, like I said, where everybody knows everybody else, it's even worse. Like these men who run these businesses, and I'm not talking about like JYP and YG, but I'm talking about other executives and investors in and around the business. They run the business. I mean, there's not a lot of women executives in K-pop. There's just not a lot. There's some, but not a whole bunch. Most of the handlers and the managers and the are men. Most of the K-pop managers are men. The hairstylists and the wardrobe people, a lot of them are women. But even some of the hairstylists are men. They have men hairstylists. A lot of the creative directors, some of them, a lot like Minhee Jin, have been women. But a lot of the executives and the people that work in accounting, the people that work, the investors, the people that are executives who are running different divisions are men. They're all men, especially in South Korea. All men. Even in the American music industry here, most of the executives that are running Geffen and Warner and Sony are men. So when you get men and you're around good looking men and women, because some of them are gay, and you get them around a bunch of talent, singers, dancers who are normally attractive and pretty and young, and they're eager and they want to be in the business, then you got men who are really cool about it, who are in it for the business, and you have men who just want to take advantage. They put themselves in these positions because they want to be around these young ladies and these young men. And they like that. They like having the ability to control these people and do whatever they want and control and then get them. Like I watched a video about the thing about Maiden. I could do a whole video. I'm gonna do a whole video about the thing about Maiden. They had one member of Maiden go on hiatus just recently. They had that situation where the other chick, where the CEO was harassing her and trying to kiss her and get her to go on a date with him. And she on the plane crying and she begging, please just leave me alone. Like, she 19 years old. Like, can you just leave me alone? And he was, you know, asking her to go out, you do this for me and I'll get you a Chanel bag. And, I'm just like if you don't know the situation about Maiden, and they have some good songs. It is sad. Like that girl Garin, she had to leave. She left the group, and then her mom came out and did a press conference and cried because her daughter was basically like, they were trying to get her to retract her statements and they were pressuring her and we're gonna fire you if you don't, get out the group and if you don't go along with this. And then the CEO came and apologized, but he still wouldn't leave her alone. Like it's just because she had a boy. She had a guy she was seeing, or a boyfriend supposedly, that showed up at her dorm. And then the CEO just, like, I don't know, for some reason that triggered him. And he just went wild out because she had a dude that was with her that came and seen her at a dorm, I think her boyfriend. And he was like, well, you're not allowed to have anybody there. And okay, that's fine. But then after that, he was like, well, if you got a boyfriend, like I said, I can't even get into what I really want to say or how this man may have thought about her allegedly, but in my opinion, what he thought about her once she figured out that she was 19 and she had a boyfriend, and he asked her all kind of inappropriate questions about what she was doing with her boyfriend. And once he figured out that she may have been with her boyfriend in an intimate sort of way, this CEO, this head of this company, just like latched onto her like a fucking parasite because he thought that, well, I guess in some way thought that, well, she over here giving it up to her boyfriend. So, um, she should be, she should be easy to get with. Like that's the kind of attitude that like a lot of these misogynists have. And like I said, I'm not trying to throw Korea under the bus because this happens everywhere, but I just thought that was very sad, the maiden thing. And I might do a video about that. He was a sick-minded man, yes. Yeah. That was so mad that like the girl from Maiden, like she just and then she just imagine they said that girl was a nervous wreck. Like she would be sitting on the plane just shaking. And then the guy would try to get her to go on a date, and then he touching on her leg, and she just please, like and then they had an audio that she said she didn't know she was being recorded. Somebody recorded it, and you could just listen to her pleading, like just leave me alone, like please, 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 like fine, fine, I'll go on a date with you, fine, just please, please, you could just hear her begging. And they said the other members were upset. They didn't know what to do. What do you do? You just sit there on the plane and you're like watching this, like, oh my God, like, what do we do? Like you looking at the other girls like, well, what do we do? And he's sitting next to her on the plane and trying to put his arm around her, and she's just like, please, like, okay, fine. You can hear in the audio just begging, please, just leave me alone. Just please, 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 like. I want to be left alone. Like I'm tired. I think she was tired and trying to go to bed. And he was just like, well, you can go on a date with me and we can. And she's like, I don't want to go on a date with you. And well, if you don't do this and did it, and she's like, okay, fine. Like she was just like on the verge of tears. You can hear it. Her voice is like, okay, like please, just can you just leave me alone? Like I'm tired, please. I'm like the poor girl was just, and then like I said, the only reason anybody knew about this is because she left the group and the tape came out and people started talking about it. But how many other girls have left groups and the same things have happened to them that we've never known about, and we don't have a tape, that we don't have evidence, or she wouldn't have came forward, we would have never known about. She could have just quit the group and stayed anonymous and just went and been like, oh, well, it's not for me. I need a mental health break. And now one of the girls in Maiden came forward and said that she's going on a mental health break. So a lot of the fans are like, here we go again. So I don't know if she might really be on a mental health break, but it might be something else. But we don't know. But I just think about how many members of girl and guy groups have left, um, saying that they couldn't cut it, or they just wanted to leave, and they just quietly left. And then we are like going, oh well, this person left the group due to health issues or what are mental health issues. We don't know if that's really true. And then like I said, a lot of these labels pay these people off. Y'all understand that happens too. Like before I go, y'all understand that a lot of these people have had dirt done to them in the industry, and the label has paid them off and quietly let them out their contract. Because a lot of y'all are like, well, such and such left and such left, and I'm like, yeah, they left probably because there was some chicanery and probably was some crazy shit going on. So yeah, there have been members of groups that have left, and they like, oh well, they let them out their contract, but we don't know what kind of evidence they had against a manager or a CEO, and maybe they said, look, if you don't let me out this contract and give me a settlement, then I'm gonna come forward and tell, and I have evidence, and maybe they would have been like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we gonna give you a settlement, we gonna let you out your contract, and don't come out with evidence, y'all. You go with God. So we don't know how many times these situations have happened that this has happened. So the next time you have a group and then somebody quietly leaves the group or resigns and there's no scandal, and they said, oh, well, they're having health issues, or mental health issues or both, and they just quietly leave a group and you're like, wow, they just left the group. Then think in the back of your mind, like the real reason they might be leaving, somebody may have done something to them. Either they're bullied by another member of the group, harassed by another member of the group, or a manager or assistant or a CEO or an executive, something may have been harassing them as well, or something happened to them while they were in that group. So you got to think. So anytime I hear about somebody leaving a group or getting fired, inexplicably fired for no reason, they're all hush up, I automatically think, okay, well, something had to happen. And I start thinking like, huh, like did they? And then we'll never know because they'll pay them off and have them sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. And they'll pay them off and have them sign an NDA, and then they go about, and then they never talk about it again. And then that person may start a solo career, or you may never hear from that person again. They may go to university and just go off and live, a normal life. But I'm just telling people that the thing with Maiden got in, we wouldn't have heard about that unless she would have came forward, unless the tape would have came out too. We would have never even known. They could have paid her off, but they didn't want to pay her off a settlement. But they could have paid her off, and she could have just been like, "Well, it's not for me, and I'm pursuing other things." But you never know. Like I said, because that's the type of stuff that happened in the industry. There are people that have been bullied in groups. We have heard about famous groups from the second generation, the first generation, where a girl in a group has been bullied, where a girl in a group has been harassed by another girl, another member of the group, or all of them. That has happened too. They mercilessly hazed and bullied, and they just find one girl they don't like and start picking on her. And then she can't take it anymore. It's hard enough to be a K-pop singer, but then you're in a group and then one person don't like another person, or three or four of them don't like one person. That's hard. So that the bullying in the groups happen as well, especially when you get a situation where the label pits group members against themselves. We see that with KG with Vicha and her affidavits, how she talked about how psychologically, allegedly, that the dancer and the managers would pit the group members against each other. So they would come to her and tell her, well, the other members don't think you're working as hard, and the other members don't think you're doing well. I talked about this when my live stream I was talking about KG and Vicha, where they would mentally mess with them and be like, well, the other girls don't think that you're doing well, and they think you're not working hard enough. And so you're sitting there like, oh my God, they really said that? Like, oh my God, like Jesus, they don't think, well, I better work harder. And like, I can't believe they think I'm the dead weight. Well, yeah, they think you're the dead weight of the group, and you're not really that talented like they are. And so I think you need to work harder because you don't want to disappoint them, do you? And then knowing that you're young and your mind is impressionable, you're like, well, no, I don't. Well, I don't want to let them down. Okay, well, I better work harder, because they think I'm dead weight. So just imagine that this happens in boy and girl groups. So when you think about your favorite group, my lovely BTS, just think like the things that they have been through to make it in this business. And just think how some of the members may have been told horrible things in order to get them to work harder or to vocal coach or singing and dancing, and the things that they have had to hear about their performance, their performances. My poor Jen baby. I know. I can just imagine, just I think about Jen all the time with him being brought in, not being a singer, not being a dancer. Just think of like the things that he may have heard, and that may have um affected him and made him feel like I'm dead weight. Like I'm not really as good as the other one. The fake excuses of protocol now. The unattainable Korean standards have caused these evil actions towards one another. Yes. So you can just imagine if somebody's telling you you're not a good dancer, you're not a good singer, and all the members think you're not. And just imagine like you sitting there going, do they really think I'm not pulling weight? Do they all really think that I suck? Like, do they all really think that I'm horrible? Like, oh my God. Like, I feel like I'm bringing the whole group down. Like, I'm not as good. So just imagine, like I said, when I think of K-pop groups, I automatically think about poor Jin because I know that some of the comments he has said, when he was younger about like how he has felt. And if you read between the lines enough, you can just imagine the things that may have been said, not by the other members of BTS, but just think the things that management may have said to him about him not having any talent, about him not being a good singer, about him not being a good dancer, and him having to pick up the moves. Just imagine how demoralizing that could be. That's why I give big props and love to Jin all day. I love Jin. Like I said, I'm going to his concert. Jin's music is not my kind of music, but I give mad love to Jin because I can just imagine him being in this group surrounded by Sugar and Jimin and J Hope and all of these guys who are immensely fucking talented, who are good singers, good dancers, or both, or a gold, being in the group with the golden Maknae, who JK is good at every damn thing that he does. He's a good singer, he's a good dancer, he's a good everything. Like JK is incredibly good looking, charismatic. So imagine being in this group and then everybody's looking at you like, well, you only here because you're cute. Like you don't really have no talent. And then all of these members are writing music. J Hope and RM and Sugar writing music. And J Hope is dancing and V is incredibly good looking and a good singer and a good dancer. So just imagine, I always think a lot about what Jen goes through. And I always try to support Jen because I can imagine like being in this group and you're surrounded by all of this talent and everybody's looking at you like, yeah, you all right. Like, so you just think like mentally how that would be so difficult to on your psyche and your sense of self. Your sense of self would be like, okay, do I belong here? And I'm sure Jen has had moments where he's had doubts that like, I don't really feel like I belong here. Like I maybe, maybe I'm not as good as the others. I think BTS members Black Attack supported him. Yes. And I think the management do play mind games with these trainees and members to try to get them to work harder and to try to get a healthy sense of competition, but it's psychologically damaging and it's mind games. Like I said, when I read the KG and the Vicha thing, I was shocked how the mind games that the management would play with these young ladies. And these are young ladies, like these are like KG was like 16, 17 years old. And one girl that she was saying in the group already had an eating disorder. And they were sitting there telling them that, don't you think you shouldn't eat that? And you're not going to like how you look on camera and you're gaining a little weight, like stuff like that, that the management would say to them, that that the dance the choreographer, the dance teacher would say things to them like that. And their management would tell them not to eat and encourage them to eat a salad a day and encourage them, you're getting a little fat, you're getting a little thick. And the management pulling KG aside saying, well, you're just not getting this. You're not getting the moves down quick enough. The dance teacher said you're not getting it. The dance choreographer said you're not getting the moves down good enough. And you're like letting down your other group members. Group members didn't say anything about that. They were always very encouraging to KG. But the management will tell you that. Well, behind your back, they're saying that, you're not a really good dancer and you're not really pulling your own weight. And they don't really want to say it to you, but, they don't want to hurt your feelings. But, they told me that, like, they just feel like you're just not a good singer or dancer. And so they just feel like they have to work more. Doesn't that make you feel bad that you have to work more? Don't you want your group members to think favorably over you and that they don't, but they told me, yeah, you're lacking. Yeah. Can you imagine that? That some adult, some grown person, you're 17 years old, an adult who's a manager, pulling you to the side and you trusting that this person is telling you the truth because they're older than you. They're your manager. So you're thinking, well, maybe they are saying that behind my back, and maybe they did say that, and maybe they just don't want to hurt my feelings. And you understand how that psychologically affects your self-esteem. But then how do you feel about your other group members if your management is telling you that's what they're saying? But they're not. They're just trying to motivate you to. That's the psychological mind is. I didn't have that. That blew my mind. That this is the conversations that she was having with her manager, that the dance teacher was telling her things too. Where you're dead weight. You're not pulling your weight, and the other ones you're letting them down. And then you like don't want to let your group members down. Do you? Well, no, of course not. You like them. You spending time with them. You're living with them. So they kind of get to be like, okay, we're kind of like family. And so you're like, no, I don't want to let them down. And maybe I'm not doing as good as, and you see that you're not doing as good as them. So you could see it. So you're thinking, well, maybe the group members just don't want to tell me the truth. And so you're like, well, I trust the manager. Like, he wouldn't lie to me. Of course, they're upset. Like, well, damn, I ain't nothing. I'm not really this good. Man, I'm not really cut out for it. So it messes with your head. So, like I said, I give mad love and support to Jen because I cannot imagine all the things that he's heard from managers and dance and choreographers and stuff that he's heard, about his singing, about his dancing, about his, and he stuck with it. At any time, I'm sure Jen probably felt like I don't belong here. Like, why am I even here? Like, I'm sure he probably felt that, and then the fact that I'm sure BTS, encouraged him, like, you're here for a reason, Jen. You're not just a pretty face, but you're here. You're part of the team. You're part of. He brings. I believe that Jen mentally and emotionally brings a different dynamic to BTS. I don't know Jen, but I just feel like the things that I've watched and the things that I observed, that he brings a very lightheartedness, a very like positivity, a very like, come on, guys, like everything's gonna be okay. I feel like Jen is that kind of person. He's a very positive person. He doesn't let things get to him like that. But I could just imagine like him being a young guy and just the tricks and the games. And even though, like I said, I love, BTS, and I love and I appreciate everything that Big Hit and Hive has accomplished. But in order to be in this kind of business, in order to have as many groups that they've had, they have had to have hire people that have kind of like poked the bear, a little bit and motivate these groups. And I can just imagine just like any K-pop company in very cruel ways. And it's a motivator, but it's very cruel. And so cruelty is a great motivator, y'all. But I just, like I said, with me, I always think about BTS, especially back in their generation. BTS is third generation. So back in the day, it was really tough. Like back, like these groups right now, were high, they got it good. But back in the day when BTS had nothing, they was big hit and they were poor and they were in a small agency and they were up there in that cramped dorm and working and sleeping 1 or 2 hours a day and trying to start a fan base. I could just imagine, that third generation and them coming from an agency that was small, that didn't have any money, that, it was a lot. They went through a lot of struggle. And that's one of the things that I admire greatly about BTS, that their intestinal fortitude and their mentality and Bang PD, Bang Shook and his dream and how he put BTS together and really, they worked hard to get where they come from. And so BTS will always have my, respect because to me, their story is just a story of like hard work, dedication, team building, luck, a little bit of luck. But to be, to the heights of where they're at, I shudder at the thought, especially with young JK, I've said before, are the things that they have seen and experienced. And like, we just know a glimpse of the way that they were treated. And they were treated very awfully in the Korean industry. And we just know a little bit. So we don't really know like the full story. I can just imagine the things that they have heard and things that the way that they have been done. I just shudder at the thought of the things that they've experienced inside their company and then from other K-pop groups and other companies trying to sabotage them. There's stories out there about SM trying to sabotage them. A lot of times, other companies trying to sabotage them. In every Moonlight Golf said in every way, baby, they tried to sabotage. They tried to get people not to work with BTS. They tried to go to dispatch, from what I've learned, and dig dirt up on BTS. From what I know, you didn't hear from me, but motherfucking BTS members had dossiers on them. Baby, why you did not hear it from me. But I'm telling y'all, like if y'all don't read my fan fiction on Wattpad, please go and read my fan fiction on Wattpad. Cause baby, I be dropping jewels in that fan fiction, baby. When I tell you that BTS had whole dossiers on them, when I write about it in my fan fiction, talking about they had dossiers on them, baby. It's not that far from the truth, baby. It's not. There's no lies being spoken there. When I tell you these other companies was like BTS who, and they started winning awards, and they was looking around like Bangtan, huh? From Big Hit, what? Who? Uh, they was like, bring in the dossiers. I want you to find everything that you can on these members. I need you to find anything that you can find on each one of these dudes. I need any kind of scandal. I need any kind of thing. And I need you to bring it on in. Do y'all think companies did that? Can I get an amen, honey? Because that's what I'm telling you. That's kind of how it went down. Like once they started winning awards and getting popular, and then things started, they was like, shit, wait a minute. Who? Oh man, they up here, they like, oh no, they getting all the money, all the attention, all the awards. They was like, shh, bring in dispatch. They was trying to do everything. And baby, when they talking about, they said Hive then made a deal with the devil, honey. I started kikiing and caw-cawing. I said, maybe they did. They talking about, why isn't that dispatch never found anything on BTS? You know, they found stuff on groups. But I was like, there's always a rumor going around that Hive made a deal with the devil. That Hive made a deal with dispatch. That's the big rumor, y'all. If y'all ain't know about the big rumor, that's the big rumor. Is that Hive and Bang PD made a deal with Dispatch because BTS have been pretty free and clear into the sugar thing of any kind of dating scandal, of any really kind of real scandal. And someone said, so it's been said out there in them Korean streets that Hive made a deal with the devil. That they made a deal with Dispatch. I've been hearing that for years. Like I went back and watched old videos where they talk about Hive has made a deal with Dispatch, that they made some kind of deal with them. As to what's in that deal, I know people speculate. As to whether I believe it, it's possible. It's possible. But it is kind of odd that BTS has never really had anything, and they've been around for a long time, and they for sure have dated. They for sure have done things like that would be scandalous, not in my eyes, but in K-pop. But from things that there's always been whispers, out there about BTS with certain things and people, but nothing has ever came forward. Dispatch, I left them alone. I've been in the Army since debut, and you were in the trenches. I know Army's in the trenches, especially International Army. Hello, Priya. Oh, you love BTS. I love BTS. And yeah, and there's always been rumors that Hive had paid off Dispatch. Like those rumors. I mean, people have done videos about it. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. What do y'all think? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is that you know, all I can say is there are other companies that have paid to not have certain things in newspapers. So I don't understand why Hive should somehow be dragged if they did made a deal with Dispatch. I don't understand how that is a bad thing because there are other companies that we all know of that have gotten things covered up real quick. And you're like, huh, that dropped from the news real quick. Because there are other companies that the Korean media plays ball with. And then with Hive, for some reason, they don't like them. So you can take that with a grain of salt, baby. You can do that what you want. Because I don't understand why when Hive try to do things to protect their artists, is oh my God, Hive is bribing people. But then when other companies do the same thing, and they have done the same thing, then it's fine. Nobody really says anything about it, but somehow Hive gets dragged. That any rumor comes out that Hive did anything about anything, it gets dragged. So I'm not saying for sure. I'm just saying I've heard this around in these Korean streets. You can take it with a grain of salt, but I just find it kind of weird that this is kind of like what a standard in the industry with the Korean media, and that some um, agencies have the Korean media in their pocket more than Hive ever would. I don't like I said, it's a mystery to me. I don't know what Hive did to piss people off. I don't know what it is, but they hate Hive. Like my next video, I'm gonna talk about the Hive and the executive that worked for Hive, and the investigation of Bong PD. I'm gonna talk about the Adora thing. I'm gonna talk about all that in my next live stream. But it's just I'm doing more research and I'm just trying to figure out why this is like why ever since even in the beginning they have hated Big Hit. They have hated Hybe even before Hybe was Hybe. They did not like Bong PD at all. Like I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on here and why the media goes so hard after them. And there is black propaganda and the thing with Fast View, writing stories about Illid and La Seraphim. They were getting paid to write these stories about Illid and La Seraphim. Like I said, I'm gonna talk about all that in my next video because I've been telling people for a long time that this whole La Seraphim, Illid, Adore thing in the media is a setup, and which spills into the whole sugar thing. That spills into that these companies have paid other companies to start YouTube channels and Twitter channels and stuff like that to drag certain groups because that's what they've been paid to do. And that every time Hybe even sneezes wrong, I think that there are people out there that are paying good money to companies to make these stories. Because once Hybe do something, you look it up and there's like 15 stories on Naver. And I'm just like, okay, YG lose a whole bunch of money and lose a whole bunch of shit. There's like 5 stories. If Hybe stocks drop 3%, there's 15, 20 stories. Oh my God, Hybe stock dropped. Oh my God, Hybe lost 2%. I was like, oh my God, the stocks plummet. I'm like, stocks plummet. They went down by like 2%. Stocks is plummeting. Okay, okay, all right, calm down. Like, they hate the underdog that exceed them in success. Look how they hate trying to make their own they failed at making their own BTS groups and it falls apart. Yeah, they all want the next BTS. And so I like I said, I'm gonna come on my next live stream and we're gonna talk about it because I have a lot to say about this whole like this thing since the beginning, since last year with this shit starting with Minhee Jin has always intrigued me. And I went back and researched and asked people in Korea and asked questions and I'm still like trying to suss all of this out where this all started. And I kind of see where it's kind of started, but it's like I said, there are powerful people behind the scenes that are interested in making BTS not a success for various reasons. Yes, there's other rival groups and rival companies, but I think that a lot some of this has to do with Bong PD as well. I think some of this has to do with him too. And I think that he's pissed off some really powerful people in some of the things that he has done. So I'm not saying Bong PD is this angel. I admire him greatly, but Bong PD I think has done things that may have rubbed people the wrong way in the industry. And I think he hasn't done things in a way that like it should be done, I guess what Korea would say. Well, it should be done like this and like that. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then people are upset about that. And he's kind of like gone his own way. And then it has something to do with the West. Anyway, I'm going to do a whole video and get into that. But anyway, y'all, I'm finna go. I think everybody's been here. Yeah, I think there's higher hands. Yeah, there's higher people involved. Like it has to do with political stuff. It has to do with a lot. And so my next video, I'm going to write down a whole bunch of things and we're going to dissect some of the things that I've found and heard and learned over the years. Because like I said, I'm new Army, but I went all the way back to the beginning, like all the way back to 2009, trying to figure out what is going on. But anyway, y'all, I'm finna go to bed. It's Friday night. Y'all have a good weekend. Y'all have a good weekend. And I think I'll probably be back Sunday or Monday, but we'll see. I like I said, I'm working this weekend. So anyway, y'all have a good night. Bye, Moonlight. Y'all have a good night. Peace. Peace.